Welcome, everyone, to today's session. This is the first session in a new campaign that we're running for Crituitous RP. This is the half-rate heroes, and let me introduce you to our half-rate heroes. So we're going to go around and do a very brief. We'll leave the actual in detail descriptions to in the game, but just briefly introduce yourselves. Let's go with regulars. Carl.
I'm Carl, and the character I'm playing is Lafcadio Whitehorn, who is a Tabaxi warlock.
And followed by Casey.
Hello, you know me. I'm playing a hobgoblin that is barbarian / fighter champion. Barbarian's Path of Zealot.
Okay. Now, some new faces to the family, and some faces that we absolutely enjoy. We're going to start with Vinny.
What's up? I'm Vinny. I'm playing Kale Irvine. He's a knowledge cleric. He knows pretty much everything. It's going to be great.
Okay. In almost extreme contrast to Vinny's character, we have John.
Hello, everyone. I'm John. I'm playing Wampum Thunderbelly, a mountain dwarf fighter battlemaster.
All right. And last but not least, Graham.
Hi, everyone. I'm playing Allie, a tiefling rogue from the Underdark.
So this wonderful little group of heroes will join together, join forces, and fight everything that they can possibly get their hands on as we progress through this homebrew campaign. This adventure will be theatre of the mind, so there won't be battle maps for you guys to look at, but there will be hopefully plenty of fun descriptions of everything that's going on. You okay, Graham?
Yep, should be.
Good. All right. Maybe not. All right. Your camera keeps turning off and on again, just to let you know. Right. So this adventure starts at level 8. So the characters are a little bit progressed. They've been out adventuring for a while. Some of the characters have been together previously, prior to this adventure, but the world is set within the Forgotten Realms. It is actually set after the events of all currently published adventures. So the Storm King's Thunder adventure that you can watch on the Crituitous RP backlog of videos, that is canon according to this adventure. The Tomb of Annihilation campaign that they are currently going through is a canon that is currently writing itself off in the peninsula down south, and now here is a new group of adventurers that are moving around the world post the events of the dreaded death curse of Tomb of Annihilation. The first thing that everyone needs to understand about the world in this situation is the aftermath of the death curse. As this curse that had affected everyone who had died or is dying, or everything that keeps turning on and off. I'm going to kill the character. The death curse scared a lot of people within the north, particularly in the Sword Coast. The major players, the biggest, the richest individuals have always just relied upon the clerics and the money that they've had to be able to save them from everything. And they've always felt like the only way they could die is if someone comes in and makes sure they are dead. But in this case, there was nothing that happened to anyone individually. It was someone far away that did something that triggered this curse that affects everyone in the world. So people are scared. People are scared of world-shaking events, and they have begun to hoard magical items. One of the things that happened just after the events of previous our Saturday evening campaign is the death of the well-beloved Lord Protector Neverember of the city of Neverwinter. He was one of the last individuals to fall prey to the death curse, and unfortunately, due to the dice roll, his soul was unable to return to his body when the death curse was finally solved. Putting Neverember to rest, the city went into mourning for a time, couple years. We are currently set about 10 years after the wrap-up of the other adventures. When the city has moved on, there is a new Lord Protector who, after a lot of campaigning, a lot of communication back and forth, a lot of political play, causing certain people to rise up in favor of the city and others, then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, came this individual, Lord Belvedere. No one really knew his backstory or history. He just suddenly popped up and gained the trust and the love of all of the people, the lower people within the city, using the slums as his diving board, his bouncing board. He launched right up to be the favorite and became crowned the current Lord Protector of Neverwinter. So to celebrate, and in honor of the world finally moving on, or at least hoping to move on, a huge festival is being held in not specifically in honor of the new Lord Protector, or at least that's the way he's making it portrayed. Most people think it is his party, but he's trying to make it people feel like it's the city's party. Everyone can have fun, everyone can enjoy themselves, and everyone that is anyone has been sent invites to come to Neverwinter, enjoy the world, the great city, enjoy the markets, enjoy the games, try the ale, and have a great time in Neverwinter. We join Lafcadio and Kale as they step through the wide open gates to the city of Neverwinter. The city is busy and bustling. You walk down this huge open walkway and street, a street that should normally be wide enough to fit 2, maybe 3 different wagons side by side down them, is just packed to the brim with bystanders moving all over the place. A couple people trying to flog whatever they can down alleyways or right up against buildings. People hanging out of windows high above you, waving at you as you arrive. Children running around everywhere. It's just a little crazy with everything that's going on. What are you two doing, Lafcadio and Kale?
Wow.
There's quite a lot of people here.
Yes, there is. I don't know what I expected, but it wasn't this. This is a bit much. I'd heard Neverwinter was on the rebound, but gosh, I didn't expect to be welcomed so warmly.
Well, I'm going to try to get a room at an inn before it fills up too quick. I'll catch up with you later.
Oh, all right. Gosh, we haven't slept in an inn in so long. Are you gonna pay, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're welcome to stay with me.
Of course, yeah. I mean, we traveled all the way up here together. I don't want to split up now. I'd hate to get lost in the city. Sure, but I will be traveling around. I imagine there's a lot of exciting vendors selling magical items. I hear that's what Neverwinter's all about. So I'm going to go find them and see if they're full of crap or not.
Right. If I can't find you, you look for me. I reckon I'll stand out in this crowd.
Oh yes, you're humongous. You'll stand out.
So your plan to just find one another is walk around town until you see the lion-faced individual? Is that clear? Or will you have some other method of finding one another amidst the huge crowds?
Can I change the spell I've prepared? The spells? Yeah.
Roll a persuasion check.
Tiamat is the best. Can I get advantage? And then I rolled a 9 plus, some amount. 13 total.
Well, here's the thing. I rolled a 9 as well, and we have to decide if my charisma is higher than yours. I think that's a success. I think you can change out your prepared spells for that.
Well, then I memorized the prayer that I need to speak for sending today.
Perfect. There we go. You are good to go. All right. So when you get bored of what you're doing, you'll send a sending to Lafcadio to try and find out where he is. Okay. So Lafcadio, since you kind of initiated the breaking off, where are you going? What are you doing?
So I'm in Neverwinter because I'm an agent of the Emerald Enclave, and I'm on a secret mission. And I am here to evaluate this new Lord Protector. They want to know if he is a good sort of man, and if he plans on doing anything that would harm the surrounding countryside, as Neverwinter has famously done in the past. They want to know what kind of magic items he's hoarding, and if he can be trusted to wield them. And if he can't be trusted with them, I'm supposed to take them from him. So I am on the lookout through the town for all the guards, and I just want to take note of their dispositions. If they are, good sorts, or if they're all abusive sorts, one way or the other, it would indicate the type of man that they work for. So I'm trying to gauge what the law enforcement of the city looks like.
Okay, fair enough. Go ahead and roll a perception check for me. While you do that, thank you very much, Dexterous Slime, for following us on Twitch. Love the name. Thank you for following us. All right. What's your perception check?
My perception is 15.
15. Okay. So looking around the city, you will be able to easily pick out the guards. One thing that you need to do, that you would need to do, is when the city gets busiest, the city's guard and those that are in any sort of official position need to stand out even more. These guards are all positioned in places where they can get a good overview over all the crowds that are going on, and their armor has recently been shined up. There's extra little things thrown everywhere, medals, and they're all wearing special purple capes and stuff that isn't the usual thing for the guard. And most of the guard seem fairly casual. They do seem a little bit stressed with all of the people and the things that are going on. But there is one individual that does kind of stand out to you right now. Off to the side, down an alleyway. He's not a bad guy from what you can see. He's just pulled a young kid, human male, probably around 12 or 13, out of the crowd down an alleyway and is giving a proper good shouting at. With your perception, you're able to hear that the man is scolding the child or accusing the child of being a pickpocket, but the child's denying it and all of that. But this guy's being a bit rough about this. Yes, not a bad guy per se.
Okay? Can I try to get a description? Well, can I perceive what he looks like so that I can just make a note of what he looks like for later purposes?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can spend a bit of time just watching him, and even after the child runs away, and the child like tears away out of fear. You watch him for a moment, not just to pick up his visuals, but also a few of his mannerisms and how he walks, how he holds himself. He is fairly obviously a bit of a proud individual, because the moment the child was out of the way, he spent probably a bit too long focused on how everything fits and looks and shines before pushing his way through the crowd to make sure he gets to his position, shoving people out of the way.
Okay, so my general feeling is that the guards are doing their duties, and they're doing so dutifully, but not overwhelmingly corrupt or abusive, and maybe just one bad guy.
Yeah, they're doing their job. Some a little bit rougher than others.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So having done that, I also want to walking around, making a note of the various merchant stalls. What I'm looking for here is people who are wealthy, and not just wealthy, like ostentatiously showy wealthy, and seeing how they're acting and how people are reacting to them.
Okay.
What I'm trying to get here is, is Neverwinter a place where the wealthy come to lord their wealthiness, and people just grin and bear it because they know that the powers that be only care about the wealthy people? Or are the wealthy people acting badly, and people are responding to that, knowing that Neverwinter doesn't stand for that kind of BS?
Okay. So roll another perception check.
It is 13.
13. What's your passive?
13.
13. Okay, fair enough. So it's a bit difficult to be able to pick out too many people. You'll have to spend quite a bit of time to be able to succeed. So you've wasted a little while in the day doing this, being able to pick individuals out. Most of the city is filled with merchants trying desperately to sell stuff to the huge array of people that are coming in. That there are so many people in the city that everyone is just desperately trying to sell and make a little bit of money. There is one point that you do catch. There's a situation where you see a semicircle of guards that aren't the city guards specifically. They are well armored individuals, stood up with shields and spears, and set up as a perimeter around one particular lord. This lordly individual, wearing brightly coloured robes, fairly large guy, jewelry everywhere, nice big hat that's probably twice the size of his head, stood there in the middle of this semicircle up against one of the merchant stalls. The guards that he's got positioned are obviously pushing people back and giving him the space that he needs. And this guy is dealing with a merchant who is, from what you can tell, begging to him. That's the scene that you can see right now. You'd have to get a little bit closer to be able to get a better view of things. So you mix in with the crowd and get closer, and you hear quite clearly that this guy is trying to shortchange the merchant quite badly. He's demanding that the work is shoddy, it's low quality, I could go elsewhere. Why would I want to pay that price? Look at the plethora of people selling, and just being a little too rough about it. So you do find a merchant, not a merchant, a lord that is a little too affectionate towards his wealth. But you can get a sense with how long it took you to find someone like this, that's not the general consensus of the lords here in Neverwinter.
Okay. So our I know that there is this big festivity, these events that are going on in
Yes.
Neverwinter. I think out of game we discussed a one event in particular, the Inquisition.
The Inquisition, yes. So, for as part of the invites that were sent out, anyone that was given an invite was instructed to use this invite to be able to get their place within the Grand Inquisition game. This is a game that is being put on by the Lord Protector himself. He is a fan of roleplay, and apparently has this whole crazy idea of getting people in the city to be role-playing with people that come to visit. So kind of like a mystery theater kind of game, but all across the city. So you know that you have to have an invite, which you didn't get. In fact, out of the group, if I remember correctly, the only people that received invites through their own connections and everything was Ali and Wampum, I think, if I remember rightly. Yeah. So
And I'm not under the impression that this event has started yet, and these are all actors.
no,
right?
no, it's not started yet.
Okay, so I would like to make sure I'm not in sight of that wealthy guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to just whip out a piece of paper and start writing down some bogus names, and put a check mark by one and cross out the other one and an X and that sort of thing. All right, and then if I can discreetly find like a spot behind a tent, while I'm walking, use my mask of many faces and disguise myself to look like that guard from earlier that was accosting the child.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so then I will appear walking in his direction, but not directly at the wealthy guy, with this piece of paper in my hand, and I'll be yelling out, VIP registration for the Grand Inquisition! VIP registration for the Grand Inquisition! Just yelling that, looking around, like so.
Roll a deception check with advantage because I liked it.
That is a 19.
19. Okay. All right. You start calling out this, and immediately the lordly individual kind of pushes the merchant to the side and shouts out to you, "Hey, I need to register. I'm VIP here. Come." And he nods to his men, who immediately start parting the crowd and start creating this circle of space that he just charges towards you with. "Hey, how do I register?"
Good sir, it is no problem. I just have to check your name off the list. What is your name?
My name. Like, you don't know my name? Look at me.
Sorry, sir. I'm new.
Anbon Rearath.
Anbon Rearath?
Yes, of the Rearaths.
That's with an R, right?
Yes, let me spell this out to you. Anbon Rearath, with an R and an H.
Sir, I'm sorry I don't see you on the list.
What? This is an outrage. It cannot be.
Oh, just maybe I miss your name. So I'm trying to imply that with my wink that if he were to compensate me, I could put his name on the list so he'd be able to pre-register for the VIP treatment of the Grand Inquisition.
Just gonna put it out there. I know Scuzzery is you, Vinny, and no, he's not a man bun. But yes. All right.
Quick interjection though, for
Yeah.
the game. So Lafcadio went into the middle of like all the merchant area and started doing this. Okay, and he rolled like a 19 on his deception. I rolled an 8 for perception. So Kale, having said he was going to go talk to a bunch of merchants, he hears some guy shouting about Grand Inquisition, and obviously he's into that. So he's like trying to get in on this action, but I guess this dude's surrounded by a shield wall or something. So.
Yeah. So you're there just trying to look through. Yeah. Fair enough.
I would like an invite.
Step aside. I'm dealing with him.
Oh.
All right.
Sorry, my lord.
He ruffles through his packs and pulls out a big pouch of coin. How's this for my name on your paper? Now don't deal with me anymore. Give me my registration and be gone with you.
So I weigh the bag, appearing like I give it careful consideration. But after a while, I say, "Yeah, this will be great, sir." So then I write his name on the piece of paper, and I say, "Oh, and I'll need your invitation. You won't need that. Just find me when the event starts, and we'll get you right in. We'll get you that VIP treatment."
What's your name, sir?
I'm Captain Gustav of the Neverwinter Guard.
Well, see that this mishap doesn't happen again. I am VIP.
Clearly.
Always have been.
Absolutely.
And always will be. And he will hand over his invitation to you. You can't get the service these days. It's an outrage.
All right, so then I'll take the ticket and I'll walk away, still yelling, "VIP pre-registration!"
Look, don't walk. Hey, wait! I still want one of those.
Sir, this isn't for you. This is for the VIPs.
Why am I not a VIP? What's the qualifying factor?
Wealth, standing.
I'm standing. Wealth. So how much do I have to pay for this VIP experience?
If you have to ask, you can't afford it.
Wow. That seems unlikely. Come on, he just handed you a big sack of gold, correct?
I hope so.
Was it gold? You didn't look?
I didn't.
A man just hands you a sack and you don't even just look inside it for a second?
So we're walking away from the guy, right?
It was a bag full of dice.
Crap.
That's worthless.
Yes, you guys are kind of... Well, he's walking away. That's kind of the... he's trying to charge on through the rest of the stalls that are there. He separates himself.
Okay, so I'm directing Kale to walk with me, and I'm getting back to that tent around that tent where I disguise myself, and then I drop the disguise.
Oh.
Kale, mate, it's me.
What are you doing?
I was just taking care of my tickets. Don't worry about it.
Okay, you just... What? How are you taking care of the tickets?
I got that guy's ticket, and I'm going to make a copy of it. We'll both have a ticket for the Grand Inquisition.
Oh. All right, sounds good. When is it?
I'm sure it says so right on this ticket, and I will present it to you so you can see it.
The invite has a name of Lord Anbun Rearrath of the Rearraths. It does state that you are invited to partake in the Grand Inquisition. The event will start in the main city square within the Protector's Enclave at sundown. And it's
sundown.
You've got about 3 or 4 hours before that happens. But in the meantime, well, you guys can continue. Kale has been off doing things for, I think, about 2 hours at this point, because that's how long Lafcadio took to do all of his stuff. So keep going, and then we'll jump back to what Kale's been up to lately.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
Kale, if
yes.
I have one more thing I have to take care of before I get tickets ready. So if you'll excuse me, I'm not quite done yet.
Oh, all right. You're being very dodgy right now. This is weird. What's the deal? What are you doing?
Well, I just have to make sure that the folk of Neverwinter are protected and are looked after. As
Are you actually a guard? Was that not just a disguise?
I'm not a god, no.
What's your responsibility to protect the people of Neverwinter?
Nabanyan, the Lord Firemane, the King of Beasts, he has charged me with protecting all of our brothers and sisters.
Oh, I didn't know the Enclave was concerned with the happenings inside of cities, but that's fine.
This is outside of the Enclave. I'm sure I've mentioned before that I have a direct link with the King of Lions, Nabanyan. And
Yes, you've said that.
he teaches us that we have to look out for each other.
Sure.
So I'm making sure to do that.
Okay, well, I will not harry you any further. Have fun with your lion activities.
Thanks, mate.
So what else are you off to do, Lafcadio?
So I want to see if I can find that kid that the guard was grilling.
Ah, yes. So that will be, well, what skills will you be employing? You can choose, as long as you can excuse it.
If the kid was yelled at, I will assume that he's somewhat frightened. And if the kid is a pickpocket, I'll assume he is particularly frightened of guards. So in either case, he's frightened. So I will try to appear as non-threatening as possible. I will again wear my mask of many faces and just appear like a nondescript person of average height and weight, traveling through Neverwinter. So I will use my skills of deception to pass off as a normal person.
Okay. Roll the deception check.
21.
Okay. You are so normal, you stand out from everyone. The child will eventually find, or you'll see the child as the child kind of walks past you, not really caring too much about you. But you do see it kind of scrawnily walking around. The child isn't pickpocketing. It's actually picking up scraps that are being thrown by other people off the floor. The odd bit of food that someone's been dropped. The odd coin that some merchant has thrown away or something. He's just scrounging more than anything else. But you will find him.
Okay, so I'll dig through that guy's purse and imagine that it's not toes or dice. Hopefully pull out a coin. Do I pull out a coin?
You do pull out a coin. In fact, the bag is filled with 50 gold pieces.
So I'll call out to the kid. Oi, little cub! Hey there! And I'll show him the coin.
You tentatively approach and...
See, I'll give him the coin. See, how you doing, mate? You all right?
Yeah. Is everything okay? I didn't do anything.
No, you haven't done anything wrong.
Okay.
Are you hungry?
Yeah.
Let's go get something to eat. There's all these vendors. Let's go find some food.
Roll a persuasion check as he tries to figure out if you're for reals.
24.
Okay. He does look very nervous, but he seems to be comfortable, or at least becoming comfortable around you. Okay, let's go. He's constantly looking around everywhere as he follows you through the crowd.
What do you like? What looks good here?
That merchant over there does some nice bread. He's a good baker. I like that.
Well, let's go get some bread. I'm Lafcadio. What's your name?
My name is Gwen.
Hi, Gwen. It's nice to meet you. So I'll hold up my hand, and I will drop the shape shifting or the alters the disguise self, and I'm Lion Man again.
The kid starts running away.
Wait, come back here! Come back here, kid! I'm here. Here's more coins. We get some bread.
Who are you? Don't eat me.
I won't eat you, little cub. I'm Nobanian. Or I'm a servant of Nobanian, the Lion King, Lord Firemane. Have you heard of him?
I heard a story about a Lion King. But no.
Well, don't worry, little cub. I give him the purse with the coins.
Okay.
It says, Nabanian teaches us that we should look after each other. That it's not survival of the fittest by bullying people. That the real strength comes from family and unity. So I'm sure you know some folk who could use this coin and could use some food.
Mm-hmm.
Well, why don't you take care of them?
All this is from me?
Aye.
And I don't have to do anything. Just you giving the coin?
Nope, that's it. That's for you, mate.
Perks up a little bit and...
Remember, Nabanian's looking out for you now.
Nabanian. Cool. And then he is going to run away with the bag. You'll see one or two coins start falling out, and he'll stop and run back and grab them, and then start tearing away to spread the good word of Nabanian and his bag of coin.
Right. That's me done.
Okay. So, in the meantime, Kale. So we'll have two parts. We'll have prior to the VIP registration and post VIP registration. What are you doing?
Okay, so he was going to head off to the merchanty area, the most merchanty area, and see if there's any like people selling magic items or people trying to do like carny games since it's a big festival, and participating in them and asking questions about them.
Okay. All right. So searching for magic items, you find a lot of people that claim their items are special and blessed by this garden, that garden, blessed for, and could do wonderful and magical things. But being able to pick out the merchants that are selling the real thing, now that is a skill. Which skill check would you be using? Investigation, perception,
that or Arcana maybe to see like so he could trying to get a magical feeling off stuff, you know.
Right.
Or actually, you know what? So he'll walk in the middle of the merchant square near where all these people are selling the magic items, and he will reach into his satchel that he has at his side and take out his book that I haven't mentioned yet on this stream. So he's got a book with a picture of, it's a purple book, picture of an eye with a triangle pupil and a melting lit candle on top of it. It is the symbol of Denir, because that's a knowledge guy. So he pulls out his book and flips it open to just a nondescript page, and I don't know, he puts his finger on some of the text and starts running the finger along it, and he spends like 10 minutes doing that, and then there's kind of a soft glow that like if it gathers up on his fingers and then it creeps up his arm like really slowly at first, and then it shoots up into his eyes, and his eyes flare with energy for a second, and then it goes away as he casts the detect magic spell.
Okay, so you're going to be casting a ritual.
Yeah.
In the middle of a busy street, merchant area. Are you going to try and do so quietly and without, like, avoiding detection, or?
No, I'm just going to do it. I mean, I guess I'll probably find a place to sit down.
Okay. All right. Okay. Some skittish guard that is concerned about the kind of magics that are being cast in the middle of a busy area will start trying to come up to you, and in the middle of your ritual, well, actually, no, he wouldn't really see any sort of physical. It would just look like you're reading a book, but he wouldn't really see the effect until after it triggers. Your eyes flash, and you see a guard has come right up to you. Hey!
Hey.
What are you doing? Did you just cast a spell?
Yes.
What did you do? It's not prohibited, but you need to be careful about that kind of thing in the town.
Oh, I assure you it was nothing harmful. It was just a quick prayer. Just keep me alert.
All right. I'm keeping my eye on you, boy.
That's good. That's your job, right? So,
yeah.
I hope so.
It is my job. That's what I'm doing.
Well, then good work. Keep it up.
Okay.
All right. Have a great day.
And he starts walking off, a little bit confused as to whether or not he told you off or the other way around. All right. So using your detect magic, you will be able to pick out the locations that are actually selling magical items. And unfortunately, the amount of actual magical items in the market is far less than what's being portrayed by some of the merchants. A few uncommon items that you'll see people flogging, but you will notice that every time you find a case of something that is actually magical, it is not one of the things that is actually being used to show off and sell. People aren't actually pulling people in to buy the magical item. They're keeping a magical item in store just in case, but they're trying to persuade people to buy everything else.
So, prepared spells. Let me make sure I got this right. So with detect magic, I can see the school of magic that things are, correct?
Yes.
I'm most interested in if there's any divination stuff.
Okay. Bear with me 1 second. Look through my notes at divination, magical items. Unfortunately, there don't seem to be any that seem to be divination based right now. Divine stuff is fairly rare to come by, or at least that sort of thing.
Okay. What am I picking up then in general? Because you said there's very few magic items, so having you list every single one of them shouldn't be too bad, right?
Actually, there is a divination item that you do find. Just got down to the M's in my list. You notice a medallion that at the base of the medallion is a tiny little golden skull, and that golden skull seems to be flaring with divination magic.
So where is it? You said it's locked up by some merchant.
It's inside a very nice looking glass case wrapped around a mannequin that looks like some old hero that had fought in a war before, like that kind of bust type statue. This individual, a small person, best guess though they are completely covered in cloth and whatnot, but best guess probably gnome or halfling individual is just flogging her wares everywhere. This just selling constantly, and she's doing a very good job of it.
I will try to get her attention. Madam.
Be with you in a minute.
All right. And while she's doing that, he'll just stare like directly at where this thing is, like a creep.
She'll keep you waiting for about 5 minutes or so. Obviously, keeping you waiting as she'll deal with other customers. She's seeing that out of the corner of your eye you've picked out something you like, so she's going to make you wait.
Sure.
But then eventually, right, what can I do you for?
What do you have here? What is this item?
Oh, it's nothing. It's just a tiny little thing. Could I interest you in something like this? It's a love potion.
No, not at all. I'm not much of one for love. I'm very superficial. I like baubles and trinkets. What is the story behind this item here?
Okay, well, all right. This wonderful trinket that is there was passed down from generation to generation in my family. Just been given from father to son to child for years and years. And it has helped the family to be able to always stay one step ahead of our competition. And if you want to get that blessing, well, I could let it out of my sight for 600 gold pieces.
So you said this has been in your family. It's very rude of me. I didn't ask. What is your name?
Her name is Kagith Ruin. Kagith Ruin.
Ruin, like a ruin, like an old.
No, like REWN. Ruin. I am getting my money's worth on that name generator. I just wish I had just picked out a whole bunch of names prior to the session. I will be doing that next time. All right. So, Kagith Ruin.
Kagith Ruin. My name is Kale Irvine. I'm from Eltergard. You ever hear of Eltergard?
Yes.
Oh, good. Then I'll strike up a very long conversation. It's going to eat up this entire session about Eltergard with you. No,
After a minute, you realize she has no idea where that is.
So
she's
that's
just trying to humor you.
Yeah, that's the sort of thing I was going for. Like, I was going to try and engage her very deeply to glean some insight into whether or not she's BSing me about the history of this item.
Then roll an insight check.
Okie dokie. Where did I just put my... Big 5 plus something. 9. So, well, that's not terrible. 14.
You can tell that she tried to BS about knowing where you were from, but you can't tell any lies. You could tell that she was lying then, but you can't tell any lies when it comes to the medallion.
Okay. So the medallion you said was out on display. Like, could I touch it?
No, it's inside a glass box.
Right.
Yep. For everyone to see.
Let me double check how identify works real quick.
Requires you to touch it.
Yeah, shit. Okay. Could I perhaps see it a little bit more closely?
Hey, now. No, if you touch it, you buy it.
That is a very odd policy. But I understand it in the context of such a crowded city with so many people running around. I'm sure there are many would-be thieves out here.
Yep.
I can assure you I'm not one of them, but what are my assurances anyway? Since,
Roll a persuasion check.
Big 5 again. What the heck? 9.
Well, okay. I might be willing to let you touch it, have a private viewing, but you have to put a deposit down.
Put a deposit down. Do I still have to purchase the item after I touch it?
No. You give me 100 gold. We'll go have a private meeting over the item, and then when you're done with it, and I've been able to prove that you're not tampered with it in any way or damaged it, you'll get your 100 gold back.
That sounds fair.
Okay.
I will do that. I have that much money. Yes, double checking. Yeah, I do. So he will grab his coin pouch and shake it. It's pretty thick. There's 100-something coins in there.
And she doesn't even need to count it out or weigh it. Just she puts it to one side in her pocket, gets another family member to take care of the stall while she picks up this case and takes it into the back. She invites you into the store, and when you get inside, you see there's a lot more stuff in here that is actually magical, because your detect magic is still up at this point. A lot more stuff. Nothing that's divination. A lot of transmutation, evocation, that kind of thing. You're pretty sure you just saw a wand of fireballs or something similar. She'll take you off to a back room, open up the case, and present it very carefully to you, this medallion.
So he will reach out and have to use a spell slot for this, because he's not going to stand there and rub it for 10 minutes. It still takes a minute, though. So he will he'll say, "Can I have just a moment? I mean, of course you can stand right here and watch. I just want to get a very good look at it."
I may look young, but I'm not new at the game. I know that you'll be wanting to identify the item.
Yeah.
So
yes.
take your minute.
Okay. So he'll do that. He'll pull out his book again, but he won't open it this time. And then out of his component pouch, it's got all sorts of pouches. In his component pouch, he pulls out a pearl and an owl feather, and he sets them on top of the book. And then he puts the book as close as he's allowed to this medallion. Is it really a skull?
It looks like a skull with purple gem eyes.
Right. Okay. Yeah, he'll get the book as close as possible to it and cast Identify.
Right. As soon as you finish, this is a medallion of thoughts. It does require attunement, and medallion has 3 charges. While wearing it, you can use an action to expend 1 charge to cast the Detect Thoughts spell. Save DC 13 from it. The medallion regains 1d3 expended charges daily at dawn.
Okay. Well, Mrs. Ruin, this is a very interesting item. Thank you for letting me take a look. Unfortunately, I can't afford it. I'm at 600 gold pieces. I am curious, why are you keeping all of your best stock back here?
Because Kale, was it?
Yes.
Kale. Because I make the best business of return customers. If I have a nice collection of stuff in the back, you'll be coming back on a day when there won't be hundreds of people outside to buy stuff, and you'll probably buy something better then.
It's probably true. Unfortunately, I'm not one for many riches. so I don't know that I'll be able to afford any of these fine items that you have back here that are definitely very magical. But I appreciate your candor and that you allowed me to have the opportunity to very closely observe your item. But since I said, as I said, I cannot afford it, I will surrender the amulet back to you and take my gold and be on my way. I may come back, like you said, but we'll see.
How much gold have you got?
That's a loaded question right there. I've been asked that many times by many different merchants and charlatans alike. Not that I'm accusing you, madam.
Roll a persuasion check.
I gotta. So as he does this, he's gonna brush his fingers along the top of the book, and he's going to cast his channel divinity and give himself proficiency with persuasion, because he keeps having to make persuasion rolls.
Okay.
So,
All right.
oh, I rolled a 19 on that one. What up? So plus 4 plus 3 is 26.
All right. Look, I can't. How about I sell it to you for 300 gold? That's the lowest I could possibly do.
An astounding offer and just a wonderful price cut, 50%. That's quite a bit. I am curious. Why would you be selling a precious family heirloom like this instead of one of the other items that's back here that's clearly also magical?
To be perfectly honest with you, because this is the item you're gonna buy.
Is it? You didn't use it on me, did you?
No.
Of course not. Well, I don't have that amount of money on hand. As I said, my companion that I came to Neverwinter with may have a bit more on hand, and I will speak with him about getting our finances in order, and I will come back and let you know. Sound good? Oh no, Teo, we lost you.
Alien, back. You lost me?
You're back now.
Oh, yeah, okay. All right. Good. Oh. Well, she gets flustered and she starts. Do you speak Gnomish?
Do I? I don't actually.
Okay, it's a good thing too, as she's talking about you in Gnomish at this point, as she puts the medallion back in the case and then escorts you back outside. She throws the bag at you, more or less, gives you your 100 gold back. When you have the coin, you can come back, but make sure you come back with the full 600.
Absolutely. As I said before, I really appreciate your wonderful attitude.
All right. And then she immediately flips and goes to serve other people. All right.
Sure.
So.
Cool. So that's what I did.
Yep. And then you found the VIP registration, and then afterwards you got involved in some of the games.
Yes.
The games that were going on here were party games mostly. Things like pin the eye stalk on the beholder. There is a coin toss where you got to throw and get it to land in a specific bottle or mug. And you've got a rather large-looking bearded lady who everyone's trying to guess her weight.
Ooh, I want to do that one.
You want to do that one?
Yeah, I want to guess how much this lady weighs. That's
okay. All right, so they're taking notes. You see that a lot of people have been making a bunch of guesses, and no one's been able to come close to this. What are you going to do to give yourself the edge in this game?
I'm going to, as I begin to observe her very closely, Kale will reach into one of his many pouches, I guess. He reaches into his satchel. He keeps it in his satchel with his book. He takes out his lucky rock, and he just starts rubbing it for good luck, even though he doesn't know if it does anything or not. But it just makes him feel better. And as he does so, he murmurs a quick word in Sylvan and casts guidance on himself, which I forgot I could do this whole time, but just now.
Okay.
So yes, he's I guess I don't know what skill it would be. He's looking her up and down. I guess investigation maybe.
Investigation is more of a hands-on kind of look into things. You probably
Okay.
don't want to do that.
Well, if it'll give me an edge.
They won't let you touch it.
Okay, damn.
But it's more likely that a perception or maybe an insight check or something of that sort would be able to give you an idea of whether or not she's big because she's naturally heavy or because she's got extra stuff to weigh her down and things like that. So
Okay.
either of those.
You said she was a bearded lady, right?
Yes, a bearded lady.
So it's a dwarf. They're very compact. So yeah. Yeah, I guess I'll go with insight.
Okay, roll an insight check.
Plus
And
my
added
D4.
D4 for guidance.
That's 16 plus 9 is 25.
25. Okay. All right. You do notice that with this particular woman, well, she's dressed in a lot of clothing, and you look at the way that she's holding herself, it doesn't seem like this person is particularly used to the amount of weight that's on her. By the way that she's sweating a little bit extra and straining, the way her shoulders are being pulled down and bulging out, seems like she is wearing a fat suit on top of whatever else she has. So the reason why people have been failing is because there's artificial weight that's been added to make her heavier.
Mm-hmm.
So you get to make a guess. Now, your insight check gives you a clear indication that she is probably between, with the extra weight, she's probably between 250 pounds to 300 pounds. And if you can guess to within 10 pounds of the correct result, you win the prize.
What was the range again?
250 to 300.
So 300. Okay. Okay. Before I guess, I'd like to ask her. Well, I'd like to ask you, out of character, is the beard real? Because that part needs to be real for me to really.
Yes, the beard is real. The
Okay,
beard
thank
is
goodness.
100% real. The beard probably adds 5 pounds.
Really?
It's a big.
5 pounds of hair?
She's got jewelry tied into
Okay.
it. It's
All right,
it's looped around. It's big deal.
fair enough. All
That's a sexy woman right there.
right.
There we go.
All right. I'd be remiss not to hedge my bets by going for the middle, and Kale will guess 275.
275. Okay.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, that's a little off, my friend.
How little?
I can't tell you, otherwise other people would guess right.
It's the exact amount I'm off.
It was close, but come back another time. Maybe you can try again tomorrow.
Tomorrow? You'll still be here tomorrow?
Maybe. Depends on how she feels. And
Am
if
I
someone
talking-
guesses it correctly.
Am I talking
You
to
guess-
her right now?
No, you're talking to the handler.
Okay.
The person that's actually running the game.
Then I'd like to ask the handler, will she be wearing the same outfit tomorrow, Wink?
Yes.
Okay. That's fair. Just wanted to be clear on that point. I don't... I'll lean in and I don't fault you for doing what you've done. It's, the game is guess her current weight, not how much does she weigh naked, right? So I'll mum's the word.
Okay. All right. Even just a basic, even a 5 on an insight check would indicate that this guy is lying to you, and tomorrow she will weigh something different.
Of course.
Okay.
Okay, well.
So you have a great time, play with a bunch of other games. You will lose, because you lost that one, you will lose 10 gold pieces in all the fun and the stuff that you do, but you end up with a tiny little teddy bear.
Oh, writing that down.
So you then finish, we finish off with that, and you'll catch up with Lafcadio. Lafcadio was going to find a tavern, right?
An inn, if there's a tavern attached, all the better.
Yeah. An inn. What kind of quality of life would you be finding?
A wealthy inn, or a wealthy, yeah. The inn can be wealthy. The tavern,
So you will find a fairly high-end location that still has some space in it, and you arrange an inn. If we go to the other side of town, though, to a completely opposite kind of building, there's a tavern that is being avoided. The large crowds of people that are passing through the streets clearly are avoiding this one particular alleyway. And it's covered in shadow, and the stories that people share is that you do not go down there or you never come out, and it's the horror stories of the nightmare on this street. And in the center of that is a location that is populated by some of the more ruffian individuals in town, the less law-abiding citizens, and that is Burns Haven's Brewery. Inside this place that looks from the outside to be boarded up and completely covered in graffiti is a fairly quiet-looking tavern. There are a few individuals inside. The bar has a half-orc behind it, serving and doing the rounds, making sure everyone has their drinks filled with whatever their poison is. In the corner, though, there is a single tiefling hiding. Well, not so much hiding, but what is Ali doing in this establishment?
Clad in dark cowl over her face to hide most of her devilish features, Allie is sitting at the bar with a mug of ale resting in front of her. Her backpack seems to be have a cloak thrown over it, protruding from her back, hiding, making her kind of look like she has a hump on her. Her cowl's pulled over almost to the bridge of her eyebrows. She's simply waiting, kind of toiling around, rolling her fingers over the ridge of her mug of ale or whatever swill they're serving. Her, from underneath the cowl, you can just barely see the orange glow of her eyes kind of drifting, following each patron as they move about, studying them.
Okay. Are you trying to gain any sort of insight into the people that are visiting the tavern on this particular occasion?
Sure. Are any of them familiar to me off the bat? Have I been here for a while?
A couple days, I think. You've been in town. Your stories, your connections would lead you to have a fairly... you would have a couple of people that would stand out to you as people you've worked with, but no one that's really stood out to you. All Everyone right. Seems fairly simple and not too useful to you, so you've kind of ignored them a little bit.
Yeah, I'll do a perception check just to stay on alert. Not that I needed it. But, I'm just making sure nothing goes awry. And that would be a, let's see, a 10 total.
Okay. With the 10, you get a good view of the people in the tavern. Almost everyone in here wants to be left alone, and they barely even look up from their mugs as the bartender will refill them. And then, charging through the door, drawing a lot of attention, is, and you roll your eyes as you recognize this individual already. It is Wampum, charging through this place, searching after the tiefling that you know is a contact to lead towards your quarry. Wampum, what are you doing as you enter?
I will look around. Me girl.
Yeah, right here.
We looking for a demon?
What was the actual information we were given about the contact? Do we know what she is?
You know that you're looking for a tiefling in this bar on this day, that would be able to lead you towards your quarry, and your target.
Yeah, something fiendish. Don't know if it's a demon exactly. Hope it's not a demon.
I walk up to the half orc behind the bar.
Okay.
Ale?
Ale.
Ale, please.
Ale. Ale, just pour a big mug of ale to you.
This is a local brewery, right? Can I get the special?
Ale.
What kind of ale?
It's
Stout. This looks like a stout place.
Bottles. This is the special for today. And we'll pour out a dark bottle.
Yeah. Okay, dark. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. A brown. Yep.
I need one more.
One more?
Yeah.
There's just two of you.
I got two hands.
All right. Ale?
Yes.
Ale. He'll pour out another ale for you.
Okay, so I'm gonna take both of these, and I'll be looking for the this demon creature.
Okay.
How many people in this place are shrouded in dark cloaks, by the way?
Everyone. There's 6 people. Every single one of them, hood up, mug right up to the face to kind of block everything that anyone else could see, and just.
You didn't get the memo?
Little sips.
Here I am in my bright red cape. Hi, guys.
Can I make a perception check or see if there's anyone that's looking at them with interest now that this dwarf has kind of stormed into the bar with a hobgoblin?
Yes. Roll. Well, you'd pretty much be able to see.
Oh, okay.
See these guys storm in, and you know to expect him.
Yeah.
The message that you received was the same one that was received to Wampum, which was basically Wampum was told that the individual he's looking for has worked with in the past and can be found using this tiefling individual. You have been paid to give over the information of this individual to Wampum and ensure that whatever Wampum needs to get done gets done discreetly and with no evidence that ties back to you or the Brotherhood.
Got it.
Okay.
Allie kind of lets out a sigh and pulls her cowl back, revealing obsidian jutted horns kind of curling up from her head, and flashes the warmest smile she can manage, showing off those fanged teeth of hers, and goes, "I thought you would never come."
Me girl, we found the demon.
Go.
I'm gonna walk over to her and put a mug in front of her and pull the chair so I switch it so I'm sitting backwards.
Same.
All
Okay.
right. Allie kind of sizes up the two of them and goes, "You know, this reminds me of a fantastic joke. A dwarf and a hobgoblin."
No. No jokes.
Down to business then.
Some of us have a sense of humor, old man.
Allie flashes a smile to them and simply says, "So, the man you're looking for, lucky for you, is in town. And unlucky for him, I suppose.
It will be.
And you're here to, let me guess, what did the note say? To meet up with an old friend?"
Yes. We
course.
haven't seen each other in a very long time.
A very long time. And I'm here just in such a busy day to get you where you're going and make sure that you don't miss that scheduled appointment. He is so busy.
So where be we going?
And do I have the address of where he lives or where he could be found?
Yes, you do. Quite specifically, you've been able to do some prior investigation to be able to find the location. The reason why you guys are here on this day is because the fellow, which was Marber Jumo, right?
Yep.
The individual, being that he is within the Merchant Guild from Luskin, has actually traveled to Neverwinter to be able to sell some wares and make a bit of coin. You have been able to find out that he happens to be running one of the games in town. Currently, he is the proprietor of a Guess That Woman's Weight game.
Excellent.
And that's your assassination target.
Allie kind of lets out a chuckle, more to herself than to her companions, before kind of scribbling something down on a piece of paper and sliding it over to them, just reading. "Do you like to play games?"
Yes.
I'll just look at Nos. What is he doing?
I don't know, but it has games.
And
Tell me
she
more.
says, "Well, your good friend is actually the proprietor of a game in town for the event of the Inquisition. Lucky for you, that means he's easy to find. Unlucky for us, that means everyone else can see him."
That doesn't make a difference to me.
Makes a little bit of a difference to me.
Yeah, because I don't know about you, but the Stockade seemed like a really droll place to spend my time. So I would prefer if instead of running down and cleaving him in the middle of the street, we find some way to quietly make sure his last few minutes are as painful as possible.
We have to remove him from the situation, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever his motivations.
Money. He is from Luskin, and he is part of the Merchants Guild.
How deep into Luskin is he?
Would Allie know this, or?
Not really. You only know enough to be able to find the person. Quite seriously, the less you know about the target, the less that gets back to the organization and the Brotherhood. So
yeah.
In this case, you don't know.
Allie shrugs and says, "I get paid for information, but not their life story, honey."
Then what we will do is, like you two want to do, we will pull him aside.
Yeah, but how?
I'll drag him.
That will not escape the obvious, which is what we're attempting to do.
Perhaps we could come over discussing wares, perhaps. Perhaps he has some Luskan spices, which you two are new in town, but are banned in Waterdeep. And I'm sure
Why?
he doesn't have those.
Why are they banned?
Allie kind of rolls his eyes and says, he's from Luskan. Luskan does have a bad reputation with Waterdeep, correct?
Yes. In this particular case, when you're talking about the spices, recently, a lot of nobles of Waterdeep came into a tense altercation with certain mages of Luskan around a bad spice deal that affected a certain Hunters Guild leader's friends, daughters, cousins, and they weren't happy about that. It ended up with a lot of Luskan mages being slaughtered, which kind of put things on a bit of a bad term. It wasn't really their fault. It wasn't really the hunters from Waterdeep fault either.
Allie kind of offers a shrug and goes, nobles, can't live with them, can't live without them.
So this guy sells spices.
Presumably. I mean, high market value for them. Not wanted. Or not allowed, rather. As with all good things in life. You can buy them for a price.
Wampum will lean across the table more. Allie. May I call you Allie?
Does he know my name?
Did you say your name?
No.
Okay.
Then no, he wouldn't know your name.
What be your name?
You can call me Nika.
Okay, Nika. Let me get just a small thing across to you. Our target had me kin murdered. So, I be a lawful dwarf, but this be beyond character. This be beyond morals. This be war. The Thunderbelly clan be going to war. Now, I will follow ye wherever ye want to go. But ye need to know up front, if ye cross me, ye be part of that war too.
Allie brings her mug up and kind of clinks it with his and says, I suppose we're friends then.
Okay, Mika. So, where we
So
be?
Allie probably was not being subtle. She's making it very clear that that's not actually her name when she says this. But as a mercenary and someone being involved in something unlawful, she's just making it. She probably has an over-exaggerated wink.
So I guess what we do is we hide out in an alley and throw a rock at this guy until he comes to us and then be like, hey, you got the spice.
Well, how about we go downtown, look at the games, and see what he's up to. If he seems to be dragged away for anything, we'll simply tail him and then start our conversation there.
Maybe you didn't hear my friend here. He said that this is war. I don't feel comfortable leaving it up to... No, that's a great idea. Chance will provide.
Allie gives a thumbs up and kind of... Can I do a sleight of hand check? She's going to pretend she's drinking the ale.
Okay. Go ahead. Sleight of hand.
All right. That would be a 22.
22. So versus the perception of her companions. So perception checks from Wampum and...
Nat 20. No modifiers, just 20.
Just 20.
Wampum is just, he's got the eye of war in him. That's all he's desiring.
Yeah. So this person looks like they drink the drink. Unfortunately, even in that 20, doesn't mean success. But yeah, you hide the fact successfully that you didn't actually drink the drink that he had gotten for you.
And then she rises up and says, "Shall we?"
Yeah.
I'd be following.
She motions to the door and leads the way.
As the three of you leave, the half-orc bartender looks back at you all and realizes he didn't charge you for the ales as you leave the bar.
Does he say anything?
No, he doesn't.
Okay.
He's tired. He rolls his eyes, and you guys move on. You travel through the town, and you'll put your various skills to the test to be able to, but work together to be able to find Marba, the person you've been hunting for a while. Your list of people is fairly, you've gotten through quite a few of them, and Marba is one of the last few that's still out there. You spot him. You spot him stood next to a priesty-looking fellow, chatting very close to one another as they talk over this game of the guess the weight of the bearded woman. The priestly-looking fellow in question happens to be Kale. As they're talking for a moment, you have a moment of distraction caused by him. Is there anything you would do at this point?
Let's see what Timora does. And then
Can I make a... So, are there any guards nearby? That's the first thing I'd be looking for.
Perception checks.
That would be a 19.
There are a few guards that are stationed in the main sector. It's quite clear, and something you would understand, is that the guards' number one priority is the mass of people. As such, some of the alleys and some of the side streets aren't as well guarded as they should be. So the guards are positioned in locations where they can view over everyone in the main square, but they've got their backs to alleys and pathways.
What be your plan, demon?
Allie kind of thinks for a moment, pausing, looking over. She says, well, first we'll need a distraction, while presumably two of us get a little bit closer. I'm thinking this priest may be involved with him.
You see, Wampum's hand is constantly shaking. I mean, it's everything he can do to keep himself under control. You better be thinking quick, demon.
Allie's going to stride right up to the guy.
Which guy? The target or the priest?
The priest.
Oh, the priest. Okay. That's Kale. As Kale's kind of stepped away. Go ahead.
Excuse me. She kind of taps him on the shoulder.
Yes.
My friends, we're watching you play this game, and quite honestly, I think you were the closest out of everyone that's guessed.
I really thought I had it.
I know. I mean, my dwarf friend is very frustrated that he didn't get it. He's practically shaking over it. Sore loser, you know.
Of course.
Do you have any tips for me? Like, what did you guess?
I guess 275, because she's clearly wearing clothing to enhance the amount of weight on her body, because that's what clothes, where they go. So I would suggest you either guess 260 or 280. It's really a 50% chance, in my mind.
And I have a can Marber hear this?
Not if you're making a point to be away from Marber.
Right, yeah. Allie nods and approaches the stall and kind of smiles at him. She still has her cowl pulled up just because, you know, tieflings are very rarely accepted even these days.
And as she does that, so I'm guessing she walks away from Kale, right?
Yeah.
So he will watch her walk off, and then he will he'll brush a hand over his book and mutter a short word in Primordial, in Aquan, and he'll cast the Zone of Truth spell on that whole little area there where the guessing's happening.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna need Ali to roll a wisdom save, is it, or charisma? No, it's charisma save.
Charisma.
Yeah, charisma.
All right.
What's the spell save DC?
16.
Kale?
19 with my spell saving throw modifier +4.
Okay. You know that the game master failed. Kale knows that he failed.
Okay.
Ali has no idea that this just happened.
Right. Ali is going to approach him and ask how much the game is.
Two silver pieces.
Perfect. And Ali's going to hand him the 2 silver pieces. And place her bet of 240. Sorry. Yeah, it was what? 250 to 300? What did Kale tell me?
Do you either guess 260 or 280?
260. She's going to guess 260.
That's right.
Ali claps her hands excitedly.
He starts looking around nervously.
And what do I win?
He reaches down below. You win 100 gold pieces.
Ali takes the 100 gold pieces, and then she looks at the. Was it a human that was dressed?
Yeah, it's a human male.
Okay.
Oh, you mean
the girl?
The woman?
The girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's human female.
All right, and I want to make. Would it be a deception check if I'm lying, or?
Depends on what you're lying about, but.
So you said earlier that she was kind of sweating, and it was added on weight, correct?
That's what Kale was able to notice.
Mm-hmm.
And he straight up told you what was going on.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my. It looks like your friend, the one that's over there, might be having heat stroke. And she's kind of point at his thing. Be like, she needs to get in the shade soon. I would know. My job is to heal people. I work for the clerics of
Roll a
Lathan.
deception check.
All right, deception. That would be a 15.
I don't believe you.
Ali is going to go, and in an over-exaggerated kind of.
You won your gold, though I'm not sure how. I think it's best you leave. I probably won't do anything about it, but please leave.
Ali offers a nod, and she says, "Oh, I didn't catch your name."
And you don't need it.
Ali offers a conceding nod and kind of backs away.
He's a little bit perturbed. He's very concerned about the fact that he just... he's finding himself incapable of lying right now. And that's not good for a merchant. So he takes his leave of the woman that's failed him again. Whole backstory. We will do a one shot in the adventures of the bearded woman, but for now, he says her job is done, the game is over, and he starts walking away from the stall. He goes into a building that's just behind. It is a fairly large, tall structure, couple stories, but it's just one entryway right there next to the game.
Does it have any windows?
It has windows, plenty of windows along the front. It is on the side of an alleyway that has one or two windows at the top floor on the inside of the alley, but nothing along the sides.
Allie strides
up the lower levels on the side. Yeah.
So Allie's going to stride back to her companions. She's going to kind of toss 25 gold coins at Kale as thanks.
Oh.
With an appreciative nod. And then she's going to motion to her two friends and say, "He's out of view."
Don't let him get away, me girl.
On it. I'm going to duck into that alley. And how's the wall there? Is it made out of bricks? Is it climbable?
It is climbable. This particular part of town is a little old. A couple of the bricks have broken away. It's enough that you could acrobatically or athletically climb up, bouncing from place to place, and get up to the...
Great, let's do it. And if we have problems, we'll just make dents in the brick.
Okay.
I'm going to go in through the door that he went in through.
Okay.
Allie is going to kind of go around the perimeter, make sure there's no secret doors or anything like that he could escape out of. When she kind of does her once about, I'm assuming they won't have finished climbing up by then. She is going to kind of run interference.
Okay.
Oh man, wait. Before you go
What?
busting through the door, we don't know if there are any guards in there.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it does. You're gonna get put into prison, and then your quest will end. Don't do that. Wait till I get up top. I'll throw a rope down. We'll come in the back entrance.
All right.
It'll be fine. We'll get this done.
You
properly.
testing me patience?
No, and my patience is tested too.
So quick rundown of what just happened in front of Kale. This tiefling person went up and won the bet, and then the guy got upset and walked off, and then the tiefling walked over to a hobgoblin and a dwarf and then said something, and then the three of them followed after the guy.
Yep, and it
Okay.
doesn't look like any of them tried to hide the fact that they were following him.
Sure. So Kale's gonna go find somewhere to sit down, and he's gonna take out his book again and just set it in front of him and not open it, and then he'll say a short word in one of the many languages he knows, and then run a hand over the book, and the eye will flare with energy, and he will cast the arcane eye spell and follow after them.
Okay. All right. So you will get the bird's eye view, the third person over the shoulder view of from the perspective of the hobgoblin. Because why not? It's a hobgoblin in town.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah. So, Nos, go ahead and roll athletics or acrobatics.
16.
16. Okay. You are able to jump up and get your way up to the top window. It is open conveniently and opens up into a large attic space. It's fairly empty. There are some storage boxes that seem to be overflowing with cloth and random goods, but it's a fairly basic and empty room. No one in there. Drop down the rope and get wampum in that way.
All right, great. I will proceed to sneak down the stairs and see if I can listen for how many people are in that room.
Stealth
that.
check.
19.
19. Okay. Quietly making your way over towards the lower. So you've got a ladder that drops down to the next layer. You drop down. You're in a corridor. The area is well lit. All wooden structures by the look of it from the inside, wooden boarding. You follow along the path until there is an opening, and you hear from the other side of the wood 3 voices. One to be what you can assume to be the target, a little bit of a flustered individual, annoyed. That's that game done. That was a bust. We didn't even make any money off of that one. It's just all right. Let's move on to the next one, and they start talking about the other cons that they could potentially pull while they're there.
Just 3 people.
Just 3 people.
I will reveal myself by dashing to the door and blocking it, and then screaming, "Wampum, get him!"
Okay. So, Kale, from your perspective, the hobgoblin trailed this merchant and is now assaulting the merchant from inside the house.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, so she's just blocking people, right? Nobody got like attacked necessarily yet. Okay.
Not yet. Okay. So we're not going to go into a full initiative. These guys aren't exactly difficult to kill, but in this moment when Wampum, you hear the Wampum attack, conveniently enough, you hear it directly below you, underneath the floorboards. So what would you do?
I'm rushing out where she left.
Okay. So you jump down the ladder, and then around the corner, you'll see Nos in there, swords out, ablazing with...
Glaive.
Glaive, not swords. Glaive out, ready to go, as these 3 thugs, both all with daggers, are ready to go. What are you guys doing?
I'm going to look at those 3.
Mm-hmm.
The 3... Now, is there 3 thugs, or is it just Jumo and 2 guards?
Jumo and 2 guards.
Okay. I'm going to look at the 2 guards. Ye don't have to die today. Jumo going to die. Ye don't have to. Now, Jumo kill me kin. Jumo will die. Now, you have the option of walking away. I be a lawful dwarf. Now, that being said, what be your plan?
Are you trying to intimidate them?
Yes.
Roll intimidation with advantage because you're getting help from Nos and you're a pretty scared dwarf.
19 plus intimidation plus 0 be 19 straight.
19, okay. Immediately, daggers fall to the floor. Both of them start running away. Oh, scuzzery. Bad boy. All right. Message is all deleted. All right. So these guards drop their weapons and they run.
Now, Jumo.
You
know me, kin.
Of course I do. Recognize that stank anywhere.
So I'm just going to walk up and slice his head off.
Go roll to hit.
Oh, God, that was meant to be. Nat 20.
Woo, first nat 20 of the campaign.
All right. The blade swings and cuts in. You connect with his neck. Right off. The head separates, slides a little bit onto the blade, and then as you continue to swing the axe, turns out the head is coming with the axe. As the body falls, you have his head looking a little bit surprised.
I'll grab his head. Oh, me girl. 2 more left. 2 more left. This will feel good.
What are you going to do with it?
You know, I think me mother would like to see it.
You got a bag? It might scare the civilians.
Oh. Let's walk around and look for a box.
They got some boxes up there. For sure. They got some textiles, too. You can wrap it in.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll wrap it in a dirty cloth and put it in a box. And then we're going to go have it sent to me, Ma.
Okay. So as this dwarf severs the head of this individual in one quick blow, well done there. You watch as he proceeds to wrap it up and talk about how he's going to send it to his mother.
Yeah. So I only get visuals from the eye. I can't actually hear what's happening. But right around the time when an axe started swinging at a guy's head, Kale would have went off to find a guard. Not like in a big hurry, like just like calmly just walked over to a guard.
Okay.
To tell them, I think there might be a murder going on over there.
Okay. Well, as you're telling a guard, we're going to go ahead and take a 15-minute break. So stick with us. Join us after the break as we continue with this adventure is a good word for it. So see you all in 15. Bye. And welcome back after the break, folks. Thank you for sticking with us. So we jump right back into the thick of things. Kale, you witness the murder. You run off to go get some guards. The nearest guards are two individuals who are stood off to the side watching the big crowd of people. What do you say to them? What do you do?
Pardon me, gentlemen or ladies, whichever you are. I believe a murder might have just happened over there.
You believe a murder
Yes.
just happened?
Mm-hmm.
And what gives you that impression?
Oh, I watched it happen.
Okay. Where? Show us.
You'll lead them over there.
Okay. As you walk over, you'll see the tiefling trying to run interference. The tiefling, so Ali, you will see as Kale starts walking back with guards.
Is there a crowd in between me and them?
Yes. It's not too thick of a crowd. It's not a huge crowd, but there are people in this area.
Sure. Allie's going to say, to celebrate the new lord, and throws like 50 gold pieces, that whole bag of winnings, right into the crowd onto the ground, so all of them just converge and block the way.
Okay. People's desire for coin is great. Unfortunately, it's not as great as these two guards' desire to solve a murder. So they charge through and push past the group. It does slow them down. Slows them down enough that if you wanted to, you could warn Wampum and Nos.
Yeah, Allie's going to call out and be like, we've got company!
Before all this starts going down and we have a moment, can I check the body to see if he has an invitation?
Yes. He has an invitation.
I'm going to take that.
Okay. You notice that it's not set out for Jumo. Like, that's not the name that's on there. It's a different name. Someone by the name of Lolin. Yeah.
That's it, just Lolin?
Just Lolin. Just one word.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So then, anything else that you guys are doing?
Allie's going to start backpedaling and put some distance between her and the guards.
Okay. So Wampum and Nos, you would have heard a bit of a kerfuffle outside as people started grabbing coin, and we've got company.
We've been made. Let's get out of here.
There'll be a back door?
Yeah, well, the way that we came in. Come on. We'll
Let's
rush
go.
up to the top of the stairs and get back down on the rope and then take the rope.
Okay. So you guys are going to have to work together to be able to avoid detection. And the biggest thing is obviously a stealth check. So both of you roll stealth checks. Wampum and Nos.
I'm at disadvantage for that. And I have a 4 plus my dex check, which is 2, so that's a total of a 6.
6.
We're not gonna make it. I got a 10.
You got it.
Oh no.
All right.
So are the guards even looking like they're coming after me, or are they going straight into the building?
They have no reason to suspect you're a criminal unless you're making it look like you are.
No, I'm gonna just pretend I'm drunk, and that's why I threw the coins.
Okay. So they're going to head into the building, yeah? What are you doing,
I would
Kale?
still be just following them with the arcane eye, wherever they're going. It's like an invisible
Well,
eyeball.
weren't you leading them?
Yeah.
In person? Do you have to maintain concentration on it?
Yeah, I can concentrate and walk at the same time, I presume.
I believe Arcane Eye makes you blinded while you're using it.
It does not, actually.
Okay.
It doesn't say it does, but I mean, you're the DM, so.
No, I'm thinking of something else then.
Familiar. It's probably what you're thinking of.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right, never mind. So, yeah, you're able to kind of split your concentration between seeing what's in front of you and watching Wampum and Nos. The guards start running up the building, and they spend quite a bit of time focused on the body that's in there. You see a headless individual, the head missing, blood everywhere. The guards are so kind of freaked out by it that they stop. They don't know what to do. They don't go up into the attic. They don't seem to have any sort of reason to go up there. At least they don't think to go up to the attic.
Sorry to interrupt, but the perpetrators absconded out the back door with the head. I can see them right now.
Are you in on this? What's going on here?
Oh, no, I'm just purveyor of all sorts of knowledge. But you can ask me all sorts of questions about it after you maybe catch the people that just murdered this gentleman.
Roll a persuasion check as they find your behavior extremely suspicious.
I rolled a whole 7, so 11 total.
That's okay. I need to take a photo of my rolls.
Is it for the wall of shame?
Yeah.
It's either 1s or 20s.
It's probably, yeah, there's very little chance. There we go.
Oh, wow, yeah. 2 1s.
Wow.
2 1s. All right, let's go. They, for some reason, believe you, and they tear off up and, well, okay, so there's nothing in the attic. They go back downstairs, start chasing off. Nos and Wampum, you guys have a head start. What would you be doing at this point to try and lose your tail?
We need to go into the crowd.
Okay. So you're going to try and blend in and all of that?
And am I presumably following them, or?
You ran off in a different direction, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Let's use the crowd to travel and then duck into another tavern.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Another stealth check from you guys. This time against Kale's perception check.
9.
Disadvantage. I have a 12.
Okay. And a quick note about Arcane Eye: it can only move 30 feet at a time. So if you guys are dashing, you can outrun it, and he'd have to, find you still.
Probably dashing sometimes and then slowing down when we need to.
Yeah.
Anyway, I rolled a 3 on my perception check.
So that's 9 total.
Yeah. You guys get away. The arcane eye is unable to follow quick enough. Eventually, the guards will. Running out of breath here. Where are these people that you.
I'm not sure anymore. They were a bit faster than I could divine. But if I had to guess, well, they'd probably want to go inside a building somewhere or into a sewer, maybe, if you have a sewer system here in Neverwinter. I don't know.
At this point, they just look at each other and they're just. I appreciate your help, sir.
Sure.
But we'll take it from here. And they head back to go and secure the scene of the crime.
Okay. I will respect your process as they're walking away.
If-
And then I'm going to keep looking for these people.
If we feel
Allie-
like we lost them, I'm gonna turn to Wampum and say, I have no idea how we were made.
Allie is going to head back to the bar she met Wampum and Nos at, and hopefully they'll show up.
What were you going to say, Wampum?
Has to be magic, me girl. The demon turned us in. That's what it was.
It had to have been. No one else knew about where we were or what we were doing.
I say it's the demon. Never
Don't
trust
trust.
the demon.
Alright, well, let's get a drink.
Would you go back to the place where you had met Ali? Or would you go somewhere else?
I am focusing on my trophy, so I am following Nos.
I'm gonna go into a tavern and get some more alcohol.
All right, so you just got a head in a box as you're running around. Okay, fair enough. You'll find the nearest tavern. It's not the Burns Haven Brewery. Kale, roll roll a perception check. See if you can find them.
Okay. It'll
Or survival if you are adept at survival.
I am equally adept at both of those skills. But Kale will reach in his pouch and just kind of roll his rock around in his fingers as he thinks about it and cast guidance. Plus. I'll roll a different one. How about that?
Okay.
There we go. That was a 1. That's great. So 11 plus 17.
17. Okay. You check most taverns. Luckily, it just so happens to be that as you step through the doorway of this one, your eye is drawn to the dwarf and the hobgoblin and the box on their table, and then goes back a couple booths to the lion-faced individual you came here with.
Oh,
Kale, you found me. Good job, mate.
thank you. I didn't even have to cast sending. They'll just like shout at each other across the whole tavern as Kale like walks over to the table.
Shh. The proprietor calmed you down. This is a very very nice establishment. I wouldn't have you shouting in here.
Is it actually a nice establishment?
Yeah, he said
It's-
wealthy.
Yeah, it's trying to look wealthy, at least.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
Yes. But anyway, I'll go over to the table to where Lafcadio's sitting.
And almost the moment you sit down, someone comes over with a bottle of wine
Cool.
to offer it, and
Oh.
you are 2 booths behind Wampum and Nos at this point. And Wampum and Nos haven't met Kale or Lafcadio, and vice versa for Lafcadio and them.
Right. So I would keep my eye, the arcane eye, the invisible one, on their table. And then I'd just talk to Lafcadio, I guess. So did you take care of the business you're going to take care of? Is this where we're staying?
Yeah, mate. I got the room all sorted. And Lefkadio will whip out a copy of the invitation, a forgery that I made with my forgery kit. I said, "Yeah, I made this one for you. It's got your name on it."
Oh, perfect. Thank you. What else was I going to say?
Do
I
you
don't
need me
remember.
to roll on the forgery, or?
I think you would have had enough time while all of this is going on to be able to take care of it with a good enough quality that plot armor and everything. I need everyone to be part of the Inquisition anyway, so you get the forgery.
I made 2 copies, one with his name on it, one with my name on it, and the original is still tucked away in my kit.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. So Kale will pour himself a glass of wine and say, "Well, I had an exciting day.
Oh, yeah?
You see those people? Don't look, actually. But two booths behind you. Those 2 just murdered a man and ran off with his head. They have the head right now. Very odd.
That's quite a tale you're telling there, Kale. It seems very unlikely.
Have you ever known me to lie?
No, I can't say that I have, mate, but it's a lot to swallow.
Yes, I'm really curious why they did that. It's very odd. Do you think I should go ask them? Maybe you should.
Well, if they're murderers, aren't you afraid they'll murder you?
I don't know why anyone would want to murder me. And it seems like they didn't want people to know they had murdered this man, so we're in a very public area right now. I don't think they would murder me. Here,
So,
maybe later.
I will discreetly try to size up the folks he's talking about.
Can I make a perception check to see if I see people sizing us up?
Yes, so Lafcadio needs to roll a stealth to see if he can hide the fact that he's watching.
Wampum will yell for a Thunderbelly ale, please.
Oh, make that 2.
Got a 10 on my stealth.
Okay. You will notice this person that stands out from the crowd staring at you as he's sizing you up.
I'd like to kind of raise my eyebrow at him.
So I'll turn back to Kale. I say, "They look kind of scary, mate."
Well, that seems a bit racist, don't you think? Just because a hobgoblin and participated in a murder a minute ago.
Well, you see that big stick she's got there? And it's got a big blade on it? And
Sure.
the dwarf, he's covered in armor. They're not joking around, those 2.
No, I imagine if their job is to kill people, then they need to be armed. Amply so. It's just really bothering me.
Well,
I don't know why they killed that guy.
have you told the authorities?
Oh, yes, they pursued them for some time, but I lost track of them, and then I guess they gave up. I suppose murder may not be as serious a crime in Neverwinter. I've never been here before, so I don't know. Maybe they just don't care.
Well,
Maybe they're investigating the body.
Maybe they had a good reason to kill that man. What do you know about the man that they killed?
He seemed to like to bend the truth a bit, and he wanted to make money from his venture. Can't fault him for that. But other than that, I don't think he did anything worthy of being killed. But I don't know the man. Perhaps they know him much better than I do. These are the kind of questions I want to have answered. I'm gonna go talk to him. That's what I'm going to do, Lefkadio. I'm going to go talk to them.
Good luck, mate. I'll be right here.
I'll be fine.
You would have heard them call out for a Thunderbelly ale, and you'll be able to bring over 2 mugs of Thunderbelly ale to help with your discussion of this, to talk to them. If you would bring them drinks, that's something you could do.
Nah, I didn't think of that, so no.
Fair enough. Then a serving wench will provide the drinks for you all, and you will get a Thunderbelly ale.
Okay.
Thank you, madame.
So, before Kale gets up, he's gonna reach in his component pouch. He's gonna take out a really small mirror with made out of silver, a really small silver mirror, and he's gonna tap on it a couple times and say a couple words in Elvish, and a little bit of arcane energy or whatever, divine energy will flare around his whole body, and he will cast a sanctuary spell on himself.
Just to be safe.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he'll walk over to the table, I guess, after they had gotten the drinks.
Yeah, the drinks have been handed to them. The serving wench has moved off. The head is on a box on the table next to the ketchup and the condiments.
Mayonnaise.
Is it leaking?
No, they wrapped it up well and good and well.
At this point, would Allie have realized they're not coming to the bar?
I think after about an hour or so, Allie would figure it out.
Yeah. She'll go out searching for him eventually.
Hi there.
Yes.
Hey.
What do you want?
I noticed you called for Thunderbelly Ale.
Yes.
I've never heard of anyone ever ordering that drink before, ever. What is it?
By the gods, have some.
Sure. He'll take a sip.
It be me Ken's ale.
I assume you've all been to this city before, if you know what sort of drinks they have on tap.
No.
Oh.
Me
Okay.
Ken ships it up and down the Sword Coast.
Okay. Look, do you mind if I have a seat real quick?
Yes, drink the Thunderbelly ale. Come.
Oh, I've got my own wine here. I feel I should drink the drink that my
Just
friend
take a
paid
sip.
for.
Just take a sip.
Oh, I did already. As soon as you handed it to him, he took a sip.
How was it?
It was. Oh, it was awesome.
Right.
That's very good. He'll turn to the dwarf and say, "You're in Dwarvish." He'll say, "Your people make the finest of everything."
Me thank ye.
You're welcome. Now, the real reason I sat down is because I wanted to ask why you guys just killed that man and put his head in that box.
How do you know that?
I watched you do it.
Did you sell us out?
Yes.
Were you the guy?
Mm-hmm.
Why did
Yes.
you do that?
You chopped a man's head off.
Yeah, but you had no idea what the circumstances were.
Do I? Why is the burden on me here?
It's because
You're
you're
the-
getting involved in something that you don't know anything about.
You're right. That's why I came over. I wanted to ask why you did that. I don't necessarily want you to get in trouble for it, but I mean, you can't just run around the city killing people. It's not really.
Well, we weren't just
Good.
doing it. We were trying to do it sneakily. Thank you very much.
Oh, well, you did a poor job. I'm sorry to say.
Only because of you.
Guilty. Although I suppose the crime I'm guilty of isn't a crime. So, what? Why did you kill that man? I'm just curious. I won't shout for a guard or anything.
All right. Who you be?
My name is Cale Irvine. I'm from the Kingdom of Eltergard. Actually, I came up for the Inquisition.
Nos
My
the Red
name-
of Westgate.
My name be Wampum Thunderbelly, sir.
Ah, then the namesake of the ale makes perfect sense.
Now, let me tell you a little tale.
Sure.
Guilds in Luskin, they took out a contract, you see. They hired Drow to kill the dwarves of Meribar. It seemed that they couldn't be crafting as good as the dwarves be doing. So they killed me kin. They killed me father. They killed me uncle. They killed me aunt. All because they want to be more famous. Now, I went out for revenge. I met up with Nos here. and me and Nos be tracking down these 6 individuals. This one be number 4. We got 2 more. You see, I do be a lawful dwarf, Mr. Kale. But this is beyond laws. This is beyond character, you see. This is war, I be saying.
And you know, with the way that things are right now, especially here in Neverwinter, what with the changing of the protection, it's tough to get the authorities involved. You're going to get hung up for months on this stuff. And by the time the months pass, these people have already killed so many more people.
I see. So you fancy yourself something of vigilantes?
No, sir.
No? Oh, that sounds exciting.
War. Just be war, sir.
Swore. I understand that's a very strong word for dwarf. Carries a lot of weight. And I'm sorry to hear your very sad tale that I totally believe. I would like to insight check this gentleman.
Go ahead and insight check.
I rolled a 2, everybody. It's 14, I think, total.
You've rolled a 2 and you've got a 14.
No, wait, I don't have expertise in that one. So 3 less than that. 11.
Okay. You believe him. He seems like a very straightforward, not too deep dwarf. Not many layers to this guy.
It's not like an onion.
No.
Okay. Well, look, I mean...
Now, this box that I have on the table here.
That was my next question.
Yes, there be Mr. Jumo's head in there. I'm sending me back to me mom. For proof that number 4 has now been dealt with.
I see. Well, like I said, I won't shout for a guard or anything, but
You wouldn't live through it, sir.
He didn't mean to threaten you or anything. Just, war.
I understand. Well, I sympathize with your situation, though I can't fully empathize with it, as I've never been to war. People that raised me always taught me to run away from wars because I'm not a warrior myself. But look, I wouldn't mind taking a moment and asking the gentleman you have in the box there for his version of events.
How ye be doing this?
Can we
He dead.
Can we do it not, magic?
Oh, of course I don't want to do it here.
Yeah.
But yes, yeah, we could take him out back or somewhere discreet.
Yeah, we could humor this guy for the sake of not having all of Neverwinter turn against us. You know my plight and how that would not be optimal.
Not liking it, me girl, but okay.
All right. So if you don't mind, we could step out the back here in a minute. You finish your drinks, and I'll go confer with my companion.
Yeah. Yeah. What's his story?
Not much to it, I'm afraid. He's traveled with me up here from the Borskier Bridge is where we met. I lived in Fort Tamar for quite a while, and he was passing through on the way to Neverwinter for the Inquisition, just like everyone else.
Is he cool? Does he drink?
Seems cool. Yeah, I've seen him drink. Oh,
Does he
yeah.
play games?
Oh, yeah, he loves games.
Okay. Yeah, bring him.
All right. Yes, I'll go speak with him momentarily, and when you're done with your drinks, just signal that you're ready to go, and we'll head out.
So, you be waiting till me finish be drinking?
Sure.
You be waiting a while.
That's
We
fine.
can get it to go.
You can bring it with you, I assume. I'm not sure what sort of establishment this is or whether they let you do that sort of thing, but I've already imposed on you so much, and I may have made a grievous error in judgment when I told the guards about what you did, but
You did, but we can forgive you if you're cool.
that's good. I wouldn't dare to impose on you any further if there's no need. So if you would like to wait until you're finished drinking, then that's fine. But if you feel that that would take far too long, we can go right now, I suppose. Well, I'll probably need to speak with him first.
Old man, I'll get some whole bottles for us, and then we can take those on the road.
Make it a keg, me girl.
Yeah, I can carry that. Okay.
All right. So Kale will get up and go over and talk to Lefcadio. So, is there any wine left? I could use more.
Yeah, here you go.
Great. So we'll pour himself some more.
Hey, old man.
So, go for it, yeah, you guys.
Just real quick, if that guy confessed to being the guy that outed us, we need to contact the demon and let her know where we are. We need to pay her.
I'm sure the demon will find us. Why? You want to go looking for her?
Just, I know the reputation of the people that she works for, and if we don't conclude the deal, they're going to be after us, and they're going to make our lives a living heck.
Go ahead and say it, girl. Hell.
A living abyss.
Yeah, it's got to be, yeah, hells.
I mean, that's where she's from anyway.
Somewhere around that region, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's let this Mr. Kale do his thing. And
Okay.
then we be go looking for what be her name again?
Nikolai? Nikki?
Nika.
Natasha? Nika?
Something of that.
Okay, so
All right, Mr. Kale, let's go have a conversation.
all right. Lefcadio, just real quick. That is Wampum Thunderbilly, and that's Nos the Red, and they killed a man for vengeance, I guess. But I just wanted to go outside and get the dead man side of the story from his head.
So you thought they were murderers, and you've confirmed that they're murderers.
Yes.
And now you're going to go out the back door and just hang out in the alley with them. Is that right?
Yes, and I'd like you to join me.
See, now I thought you were the smart one in this relationship. This doesn't seem like the wisest course of action.
I think we'll be fine. I've gotten us out of some pretty tough scrapes before, haven't I?
All right. Well, I got a room. Let's go upstairs to my room.
You want to bring a severed head into our room? I don't want a severed head to be in my room, to be perfectly honest.
All right. Let's do it your way then.
I want to go in a dark alley. That's the way I want to do this.
So
I trust you because you're so smart.
Thank you.
the four of you will go looking for a dark alley round the back of the tavern. By by this point in time, it's getting to be a late evening. Sundown will be in about 2 hours' time. As you're finding the appropriate space, you're getting ready to do whatever you're doing when an individual searching for the dwarf and the hobgoblin walks down this particular dark alley. And all five of you are finally together in the same room at the same time.
Fancy seeing you here. She pauses, counts on her fingers. 1, 2, 3. You have friends.
That is
Yeah.
yet to be seen.
You know, we almost blamed you.
Oh no, a dwarf being stubborn and pig-headed. How surprising.
Why would you tell her that?
Allie kind of shrugs it off and approaches them and says, and kind of holds out her palm of her hand.
I'll put my hand in her hand, and I'll say, "Oh, nice to meet you, mate. I'm Lefcadio Whitehorn."
Are there many tabaxi in the Underdark?
No, not really. You won't see them under the ground.
Allie's vibrant orange eyes go wide as this lion person is shaking her hand, mouth opening. What are you? And she just immediately, her free hand is like petting his mane, just like pulling on his ears. I've never seen one of you before. You're not often in the Underdark.
No, I can't say that we would be. I'm a tabaxi.
Nice to meet you, Tabaxi.
What are what are you?
I'm a tiefling.
A demon.
No. You see, I'm sure I don't have to explain the planes to you, Master Dwarf, but there's the Abyss, there's devils and demons. They both fight a giant war for cosmic sense of law and order, you know, the gist. But my grandmother was a devil. I am just descended from it.
If she's a tiefling, it means that she's part human.
She got horns. She got wings. She red. She got fangs. She got pointy tail. She a demon.
Yeah.
Yeah. She just gives a conceding nod at that point.
I'm Lafcadio, and he goes to shake Wampum's hand.
Okay. Lefcardio.
That's right.
Womp Thunderbelly, sir.
Good to meet you, Lafcadio, and he moves along the line to shake Nos's hand.
This be Nos the Red.
Yo, and I'm gonna give you like a bro handshake thing going on here.
I nail it.
Twitch,
perfectly.
yeah, you nail it perfectly. Yeah. Roll a performance check.
That one, so that's a 5.
Yeah. So you struggle. It's more a case of she's doing everything to your hand as it's out there, but
we'll work on it, buddy. We'll work on it.
Yeah, it could be worse. You could have gone for a fist bump when they went for a handshake.
So, I guess we all know what we're doing back here, right?
Not really. I just found you.
Well, I guess we're gonna talk to a severed head.
So that's how he died.
Yes. Hello. Nice to see you again.
She waves at him and says, "Fancy seeing you here. So how did you end up to be here?"
Ratted us out.
I followed your friends after they murdered this man. You know, like gesture to the box.
And how did you know
Murder's
they
a
murdered
strong
them?
word.
Oh, that's right. We're gonna find out if it was a murder. I'm sorry. I need to ask him for his side of the story first. I divined their location.
And I'm assuming you also called the guards?
Yes, of course.
I mean, I knew that because I saw you walking with them.
Okay.
You do owe me 75 gold, by the way.
I do.
If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have had to throw that gold trying for a distraction to keep these two knuckleheads out of the stockades.
And I wonder, he says, nudging the box with his foot, how much was this man worth?
How much was he worth, Theo?
The worth of a person, like to you.
No, for the contract.
Yeah, the contract. For a completed job reported, you would get 150 gold back.
About 150 gold.
Oh, so you're still up 75,
I suppose.
If you'd like to keep it, you should chill out. That's what you should do. If you'd like to ensure that it continues to go unconfiscated by the Neverwinter Guard, I'd suggest that you cool it a little bit.
Allie offers a nod, but makes a very, very blatant, condescending, like, lowering of her hands to the hilt of her short sword and the hand crossbow hidden under her cloak, and just goes, "Of course."
Watch you stepping, Mr. Kale.
Of course, yes. I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend. Can I?
Raises her hand. Just wait.
What?
What, me girl?
Kale, was it?
Yes.
When you do the voodoo that you do, how do you know if this guy is going to lie to you or not?
I don't think he'll be able to lie.
Because this guy is a scoundrel.
So you say, but I will ask him. Yes, I'm not sure if it can lie.
What
I'm not
spell
actually.
are you casting?
Speak with Dead.
They have to tell the truth.
Pretty much, as far as they know it, anyway.
Yes, as far as they know it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, it just. So, I won't be bringing him back to life if that's what you're thinking.
He ain't got nothing. He ain't got nothing to bring back.
No, I suppose not. It's just the head at this point. But look, you can just watch from a distance. If he knows you're around, he might be a bit more hostile to questioning.
Just to let you know, you be in distance of my hand axe.
That's fair. Feel free to take aim at me however you wish.
Allie's gonna buddy up and step next to Lacadio.
Okay. You guys gonna let him at the box?
I'll put the box up on a box that's in the alley, and then back up.
You open it up, peel away a bit of the cloth that's now soaked in blood. You have the still severed head.
Gross.
Yeah.
So, what do I need for that? So he will take the book out again and set the book on the ground nearby, and then get some incense out of his pouch, out of his component pouch, and he will set the incense up on top of the book, and then he'll flick like he's flicking a marble. He'll flick out a little mote of flame with a firebolt, and he'll light the incense, and cast a Speak with Dead spell. So smoke will come up from the incense and the book, and it'll start to glow a little bit, and then it'll kind of envelop the head, and its animating spirit returns.
The head, though, doesn't physically shift at all. It sounds like the head is taking a deep breath.
That's weird.
What are your 5 questions?
Yes, 5 questions. Question 1. What was your name?
I was Morba Jumo.
Jumo. And from where do you hail?
I am from Luskan.
Right. Did you at one point conspire to hire Drow to kill the Thunderbelly family of Mirabar?
Yes, I conspired.
Okay. Why did you do that?
The dwarves were in the way, and we made a lot of money.
Can anyone ask him questions?
It's only him.
Okay. Ask him where he keeps all of his gold.
In the way. Ignoring that. Maybe not. Because I don't know what else I needed to ask him. All right.
They're ill-gotten.
Do you regret making that decision?
So the corpse knows only what it knew in life, including languages it knew. Okay. So since everything that it, no regrets.
No regrets. Okay. Thanks for your time. And the spell's done, so he'll wrap the head up and put everything back.
Allie is shaking her head so unhappily right now.
So
And, like,
he'll take his book and make notes about the answers he just got.
Mm-hmm.
You get what you needed, Mr. Kale?
I did. Your story checks out. So, I'd suggest you lay very low because the guards might be looking for you. I don't believe I described you to them, though.
Nope.
So,
I reckon that's a shortcoming on their part, not asking the eyewitness to a murder. Maybe they didn't quite believe you.
They seemed fairly inept at their jobs, but that's neither here nor there, though I would suppose that it is beneficial to the two culprits. But as agreed, I won't be calling the guards on you. I'm very sorry again for your loss, and since he was telling the truth, it might please you to know that he didn't really regret his decision at all.
Yeah, screw that guy.
Yeah, it almost makes you wish you had asked him where he kept his gold.
What would I need his gold for?
Because, of course, everyone's going to regret getting killed.
Well, of course, yes, if he had been
But
able to
gold-
recall that event.
But gold is for us.
Gold is for us, or is gold for you?
Gold is for everyone. Gold makes the world go round. And think of all the good you could do with how much gold a merchant from Luskin would have.
Yeah, well, at this point, it's all shoulda, woulda, coulda, isn't it?
Wampum will grab the box and say, I need to ship this home.
All right, well, we don't want to be keeping you. We've got things to do, people to see. It was good meeting you.
Oh, but I'd like to help them, Lafcadio.
Help them deliver postage?
Yes. I would like to know how one would discreetly deliver a severed head from Neverwinter to Mirabar.
I could arrange that for, of course, a nominal fee.
What kind of fee?
Including postage, shipping, a discreet courier. About 80 gold.
Is it worth it, old man?
I'll make it ye be 100 if it's in the next 2 days.
I think I can have my people do that. Would that be a feasible thing, Teo?
Where do you need the shipment to go? Up to Mirabar? Right?
Yes.
Okay. Neverwinter to Mirabar in 2 days requires teleportation.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that is possible but expensive. 100 gold for to get it via normal means. A normal simple courier could be, yeah, that sounds reasonable. But to get it there in 2 days via teleportation is not reasonable for that price. You're looking at 200 plus to be able to ship that through your means.
Allie purses her lips, kind of doing the math, and says, it would have to be 300 if you want it to Mirabar in 2 days.
What do you think, me girl?
Well, I think that getting it there faster eliminates the possibility of the enemy finding what we have done and catching on to us. So I think it is pertinent to attempt it. But I am investing an awful lot. And if we are going to continue to be partners, I would like to know if I have your loyalty after this is all over.
I assure ye, to my dying day, you have my loyalty.
All right, then I will foot the bill. Not 300 though.
No.
I'll do 250.
Do 2. And I do 100.
All right, so 250 and 100, or what?
No, 200 from Nos, 100
Oh, okay.
from Wampum.
Okay.
Wait, no,
Allie-
we don't have to pay that much for it. That is not that expensive.
For teleportation. Do you know many wizards that willingly hand out such boons to the normal masses,
No, but this is
especially in Neverwinter?
this is just our preference. It's not a necessity. You want the gold or not?
I suppose, because we're such good friends.
Not to cast any aspersions on your character or your line of work, but I think it may be best if one or all of us were to meet this courier in person.
If you're going to go via the Zentarim, not possible. That is completely out of the question. The only time you meet this guy is if you are there to take his place in that position. That's it. There's no
Okay,
chance.
so I would have to go through.
You would tell a person who would then contact a person who would then
Okay.
contact someone else, and then eventually, after a lot of people have been contacted, the courier gets given the object.
Okay, so that's what I would do.
So 200 be the price.
Yes.
Okay.
Fair enough.
I have to say, Sir Thunderbelly and Sir Nos, you seem to be putting a lot of trust in this character. You're just handing over a very large sum of money to perform.
We already talked about
the
how
task.
little you actually know about the circumstances that we are in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Their people do it professionally. Their people don't look at the box.
So you're familiar with the people she works
I
with?
am.
He
Okay.
likes to stick his nose in everything.
Well, I mean, it's. I respect what you're trying to do, Kale. I see what you're trying to do.
Mhm. Okay. Well, it's not my money anyway.
So Allie will send out that message at some point. The courier.
So you have a specific person that you would go to down a dark street, contact him, say you need to get a message out to this person, and eventually you will hand over the box to him,
Okay.
plus the money, and the item will reach Mirabar in 2 days.
Perfect.
And I will have a letter in there explaining to my mother, this is number 4.
And this is getting pretty close to the Inquisition time, right?
Yep. At this
Uh,
point,
is-
by the time you've made your contact, you've got an hour to go.
Okay.
Okay.
Allie kind of leans over to her two best buddies and co-conspirators. So when do we go after the next one?
Now,
Can it wait until after the Inquisition?
if he see fit.
I see fit.
Oh, were you all invited to the Inquisition as well?
Oh, yeah. I got one of them tickets.
Nice.
I
Well,
have one.
we'll be participating. Let's go there together.
Have they announced the reward for the Inquisition?
Not yet.
No.
No. So if that being said, everyone now should actually have an invitation. Ali would get one through the Zents. Wampum got one through his family. Nos got one off the body of Juno. And then you two both have your invitations from the forgeries that were created. Okay. Sweet. So as the time is coming closer and the sun is beginning to set, people are slowly gathering towards the center of town. Torches are being lit. Big lights are being set in the sky to light up the city. It's really quite beautiful as everyone makes their way to the main central part of the Protector's Enclave. Just outside Castle Never, I think. Yeah, Castle Never. The gates open wide as the procession starts to make its way down towards the town square. The Lord Protector, guarded by his personal entourage of soldiers, who all look well armed and armored, is also being flanked by a couple advisors. They lead up towards a small stand that's been set up at one side of the hall, and you see this fellow, fairly fit-looking individual, broad shoulders, big chest. He wears the robes of the Lord Protector well, in regards to who he's replacing in terms of the Protector Neverember. Belvedere stands up, arms wide. Welcome, everyone. Calm down. Let us relax. I hope everyone is having a wonderful time and enjoying such a wonderful city that we have here. Welcome from far away or wherever you've traveled, whether it's from the streets of the city to anything's over. If you've come from far away, like those that have come up from I've forgotten the name of no, I was actually thinking of where Artir came from.
Tethir.
Tethir, there we go. I don't know why I forgot that. That was a key point. From Tethir. And as he says Tethir, there's a array of shouts, as a lot of people in the background are quite proud of the fact that they're from Tethir. The Protector, yes, calm down. It's a pleasure to have you all here. Now, you've all played the games, you've all shopped, you've all had a grand old time, but the main event is about to begin. You have all been given your invitations. Now let me explain the Inquisition. I have had something stolen from me. A very precious item. My crown. This crown of the city of Neverwinter must be found, and I need your help. What you need to do is come see my advisor here. Trade in your invitations, and he will present you with a badge indicating you as a member of the Inquisition. Now, as the sun is setting over the seas, you will notice that most of the merchants are closing their shops and moving on and engaging in the game themselves. The only shops still open from the moment the sun finally sets are those that may be taking part in the game. You, as members of the Inquisition, have free reign of the city. Everywhere that you wish to go, you can go. If it's somewhere that you shouldn't be, then my guards will escort you. I need your help to find the crown. Go where you need to go, speak to whoever you need to speak to, and there will usually be someone nearby to help you be clear whether or not that person is part of the game or not. Don't want you wasting time on someone that's not actually playing. Once you find the crown, simply bring it to me. And as a special reward, you will be given 1,000 gold pieces, a special dinner with me, and a very special task that I would like to hire you for. So, prove to me herewith your capabilities of investigation, and together we can shape the world. Silence across the entire crowd. He's obviously looking and expecting an applause, doesn't get it, so let's go play. One of the advisors throws up a couple thaumaturgies and prestidigitations, whatever they need to make it look like people are happy and proud and all of that. He bows, and then with his entourage starts leaving one rather scrawny-looking official on top of the platform with hundreds of people in front of him, all pulling out pieces of parchment and tearing forward to get their badge to be part of the Inquisition. You will all notice that in this town, as people are gaining their badges, everyone is separating off into groups. No one is going off by themselves, and everyone is getting together, most likely to work together towards getting this prize. Eventually the crowds will die down and you can all trade in your passes with no question at all as to who you are, really, and you'll be given this little pin. Lafcadio, while you are putting your pin on your lapel or whatnot, you will notice as you're walking away that rather large fellow walking up to the Rureths, the merchant, Anbun. There we go, Anbun. He walks right up. I registered earlier, and where's my pin? No invitation, no pin, sir. I gave your official my pin earlier, my pass earlier. Sorry, there's no VIP, no sort of deals. We don't do that here. This is not. It's not. I'm trying to think of a dirty town that's not Luskan.
Faye?
Yeah, we're not Faye here. We don't deal in underhanded activity. Everything's official. If you don't have a pass, then you don't get to participate. So he charges off, looking for the guard who sold him. Captain, what was the name that you gave him? Captain
Gustav, I think.
Gustav, yeah. He's looking for Captain Gustav. Hopefully he finds him. So now that you guys have this, there are plenty of people still out and about, plenty of guards. You've got a lot of people that you could just straight away just talk to ask about this, but you are all now part of the Inquisition and are encouraged to find the Lord Protector's crown.
I reckon the fates have joined us together to solve this mystery. What do you say? Shall we go find this crown?
Sure.
I up for some fun for once.
What?
What about me, girl?
You haven't been having fun?
No, I've been feeling stressed.
Allie kind of leans over to Nos and then to Wampum, and just under her breath, making sure her new companions can't hear. My name isn't really Nika. It's Allie. Now that we're friends and all.
Insight check.
Go ahead and insight it.
I got a 10.
It's a real name.
It could be true. It might not be. You're not entirely sure. What's in a name?
Really real?
Really real.
Really real?
Really, really, really.
You promise?
She holds up a finger.
Okay. All right. Should we call you that in public? No. Okay. All right, Nikki.
Let's go get 1,000 gold.
Right. Where do we start?
We should probably start by asking questions of the officials. No doubt they have a riddle or a clue for us to start.
So we go looking in the first store.
You said there were officials like right in the area giving clues?
So there are town guards, there are officials, there are shops that he explained, if they're still open, they're part of the game. A lot of places, even some of the taverns, have marked themselves with a big sign outside saying, "Inquisitors, visit here," kind of big thing. So it's easy to see, but plenty of options.
Can I say that one of the things I've learned from my studies is that some folks are gifted in things more so than others. Like, I have a way with words. I can get into places that others might not be able to just by a smile and a kind word. Kale, on the other hand, he's as smart as a whip. He can figure anything out. I'd say that we defer to Kale, because he's just all sorts of smart.
Would an investigation check assist?
Yeah, it depends on which individuals you go to as to which information you get.
Okay.
So you have to pick someone that you go to and then deal with them. You
Well,
have guards, officials, shopkeepers.
We dwarves are natural born investigators.
Is that right?
Absolutely. But if it's, well, so in that vein and respecting your genetic predisposition toward solving mysteries, how about you decide who the first person we speak to is?
if it's a tavern, we'll probably never leave.
All
Racist.
right.
That's a little bit.
Eeny, meeny. That one right there.
Brilliant.
So, John, is wampum pointing towards a guard, an official, or a shopkeeper?
Guard.
A guard, okay. So there's a group of guards off to the side of here that are acting the part as to some other individuals who then trail off, and now you can go and inquire of these guards.
Wampum will walk up to him.
As you walk up, one of the guards pulls out a piece of paper, quickly glances at it. Welcome to. Hello.
Spit it out, sir. Spit it out.
What can I do for you today?
Well, see, me party members, they knew how us dwarves are natural-born investigators. So, we're here investigating. We're looking for this crown. What you know?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I would like to punch the wall next to his head.
Okay.
Try again.
Athletics check.
That's a nat 20. That's a 27.
That's a powerful hit. Your hand goes through the stone wall. just barely missing. You hear a scream from the inside of the whatever building is next to you. And you see this particular guard just jump. He drops his papers. You can see he's got a whole bunch of notes and scripts that he's trying to read off of, and he writes himself and picks it all up. He's mixed and confused.
I was
as
going to
to
offer you sleight of hand and try and help him pick them up and actually pocket them.
Roll a sleight of hand check.
All right. And that's with advantage, correct? If I have expertise in it?
Not if you have expertise. Expertise just simply means you can double your proficiency bonus on it.
Oh, okay. That would be a natural 1, so I'm just not...
Well, what's the total?
Oh, the total would be a 8.
8. Okay. He sees you trying to take one. He thank you and pulls it back and tries to sort through the pages quickly to see where he should be.
I'm not going to
sorry.
move from my position. I'm just going to stay right there next to his face.
Please, I'm only. It's just part of the game. What do you want to know?
Tell us what you know.
Play the game.
This wasn't on the script. Flips it over. The Lord Protector's castle was broken into recently, and the town guard believe they have cornered one of the people that is involved in it, but they're not sure who it was. They have 3 people in custody. You might want to talk to them to figure out which one was involved.
Now see, that not be so hard.
You're doing quite wonderfully. I hope the rest of your night is delightful. Thank you.
Your acting skills are top notch.
Okay.
You're even trying. That's pretty good.
Allie wants to give this guard a gold and ask his name.
My name's Alex.
You're doing great, Alex.
I wanted to become a bard, and they put me in this costume and told me that everything would be fine. But no.
You're a natural.
What's not fine? Are you alright? You okay? Did I scare you? You okay?
Please.
Alex, calm down. It's alright. It's just a game. We're just playing. You did good. Hi, I'm Nos.
He looks at the hole in the wall.
I'm not gonna hurt you.
I'd hate to see what you're like when you're serious.
Yeah, you won't see that. You won't see it.
Okay.
We're okay.
Right.
Promise.
Right. Yeah, my I need a moment.
Just take a breath.
Yeah, you're supposed to go to the town guard from here and deal with them. They have 3 prisoners. Deal with them, please. I'll give you a hint. The prisoners, they all know one another. They're supposed to work together to fool you, so don't believe anything the prisoners say. Okay?
Thank you, Alex.
Okay.
You're right.
All right. I'm gonna go to bed.
All right.
I was not expecting that. I'm sorry.
I am sincerely sorry for freaking you out that much.
He takes off the armor that he had been given. It's quite clearly the armor is actually built up inside to make him look a little bit bigger than he actually is, as this is clearly just some kid that was hired to pretend to be a guard. Enjoy your evening.
Don't give up on your dreams.
To Neverwinter.
Alex, you want a drink?
No.
He wants to go home. So he's just leaving it there, right?
He's just leaving it there.
Can I yoink it? Can I just, like...
His armor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. I am gonna just take that and stow it in the backpack.
Okay. You have a set of fake Neverwinter armor. So, heading over to the guardhouse.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That was a very interesting tact you all took just now.
Yeah, I didn't mean to scare him that much.
We work well together, though.
You certainly did.
Do you see? Do you see me, girl? He's scared.
Yeah, it was kind of funny at the same time, wasn't it?
Yes. He feared for his life.
Oh, that's not good. That's no.
Well, that was very effective. How about I run the point on this one?
Yes, we'll try a different tact for the next
Oh.
one. We'll compare.
The new tact, we punch all 3 of the prisoners. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
So you'll follow the streets and follow the paths. You'll see that other people in other groups have received different clues that take them all over the city. You meet up with a couple other individuals. There's another 2 groups of 5 people that have kind of converged on the town guard hall right here. It's at the base of the Lord Protector's actual castle. The gate has been raised, and the local captain of the guard, and this is the actual captain of the guard, stood there, is waiting for everyone and invites everyone that's kind of coming in. And so now there's a nice little group of 15 people. Well, I'm glad you've come here, as we need your help.
I interrupt him.
Yeah? What do you do?
All right. Well, that's why we're here. And I, in front of him, I use my disguised self to change my appearance to whatever the Forgotten Realms equivalent is of Watson, of Sherlock Holmes and Watson. So whatever that would be, if such a thing exists, I think there's probably some story about a brilliant investigator. So I'm trying to look like this fictional character. And they say,
in our universe, the canon version of the Sherlock stories is actually Basil the Great Mouse Detective, if you've ever seen that. So
Yeah.
Watson is actually a hamster, and so that's the form you kind of take on, is the look of this fairly big individual, bushy, big mustache, bright red nose, wearing a cardigan.
clearly, I need no introduction. And this is the great Basil. He's indicating Kale. We've been sent by the equivalent of Scotland Yard to get down to the bottom of this at once. We demand access, and exclusive access, to the prisoners at once.
Roll a persuasion check with advantage, because you've got costumes and they like that.
That is a 25.
25. So he looks at you, gives you a bit of a wink and laughs. See, pointing to everyone else, that's how you roleplay. That's how you get involved in the game at hand. Go on, the 5 of you, go on inside. You need to figure out which one of those is the actual criminal that helped break into the Lord Protector's castle. Everyone else, I'll talk to you for a couple minutes, give them some time, and at which point people are annoyed and they start chattering. He's like, and he manages to calm them down. You guys get 5 minutes of exclusivity with these 3 actors. Stepping in, you have 3 individuals that are all in chains in front of you. 2 female, 1 male. The females, you have a tabaxi female, young, probably only about 16, 17 in human years. You have a female elf, a little bit older, but elves, can't really tell how old they are anyway. Tall woman, blonde, long blonde hair. And the male happens to be this guy is a Goliath. Huge Goliath individual, tattooed completely, tribal-like tattoos, but they all look a little wet, like they've tried to put this on for him as he's sat in his position. What would you guys like to do when you see these 3 prisoners?
Gee, I hope we didn't miss any exposition by jumping right in here. Surely he couldn't have said anything important that we can't get from the gods, right?
You're absolutely right.
Allie wants to lean over towards Lacadio. Is it Lacadio or
Lafcadio.
Lafcadio, mate.
Lafcadio? Can you change your face often?
Yeah.
Allie gives a wink, then motions to her backpack that has the armor, and then says, "For later."
So, do I infer that as some sort of sexual roleplay?
No. She's trying to con people into thinking that you're Alex, the guy from the front that forgot his stuff for hints.
Oh, right. It's good to have that in our quiver.
All right. Lafcadio, perhaps you should question the tabaxi woman first.
Sounds like a plan. So I'll do the Riker spin around chair sit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, good day, love. What's your story?
My story is just like yours. Quite simply, I was just a young kitten walking through the streets when all of a sudden I'm accosted by a group of guards and I'm locked up in chains and questioned for stuff I don't have anything to do with.
Okay, so he's going to be overtly flirtatious in courting this tabaxi. Saying, "Oh, that's a sad story," and he'll like try to reach for her hand to stroke it.
Roll a persuasion check.
14.
14. Okay. You'll see that she'll stroke back as your hand crosses over her. She'll pull up her fingers to kind of stroke you back as you move. She has limited mobility with the whole in irons thing. Mm-hmm.
It's terrible what they've done to you. What they've done to us. Clearly, it's a case of racial bias.
I just want to stop you real quick. Thank you very much, Avazpo, for subscribing on YouTube. Thank you for doing so. We love you. Thank you. Keep going.
What do they have against our kind?
I don't know. I think I'm just different enough from the normal people around here that they think they can just clap me up, and I must be guilty.
Clearly, you're very special. You're not like any of these other ones.
And don't stop.
Well, between you and me, has anyone else come to talk to your friends? What what do you think? Who's the real guilty party?
Well, I think it was the Goliath. Look at him. Big guy. He could do anything. I think it's him.
Oh, you're breaking my heart. Do you have eyes for the Goliath? I thought we had some chemistry here, you and me.
I have only eyes for you, and unless you'd be cool with that. I mean. Nope. He thinks about it for a second.
So, while I'm doing this, I am hoping my party members are watching and listening and can try to detect if she's being truthful, just because I am not very good at detecting whether or not people are being truthful. I am merely getting her to talk.
So you would like another member of the party to roll an insight check for you?
That's exactly what I'm hoping for, yes.
Okay. Is there another member of the party that would be willing to roll an insight check on behalf of Lefka?
Absolutely.
Yeah. What's your modifier?
Okay. No, you roll your own.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna. So he would have been standing behind Lefkaya, just taking notes in his book while this is happening. Nat 20. So 29.
29. Okay. She's not exactly telling the truth. Yeah. I mean, she's not exactly. She's a very good actress, and she's playing her part well. But the things that she is saying don't seem to be right. Everything's not right because everything's technically a lie, but it's not the lie that you're looking for.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Lying. So I will take note of that, but we don't have a lot of time, so I'll tap Lefkadi on the shoulder and say, I'll move on to the next one if you want to question the Goliath while I'm speaking with her, he'll say, pointing toward the elf.
So who's doing what first, the Goliath or the elf?
I will talk to the elf first.
Okay.
Me, girl, I like her way better.
Yeah, this is a little dull.
So he will take a seat in front of this lady and in Elvish greet her formally, I guess.
And she responds in kind.
So, first off, my name is Kale Irvine. What's yours?
My name is Siniel.
Siniel. No surname.
All you need is Siniel.
Okay. Why are you locked up here?
I am being accused of breaking into the Lord Protector's home.
Of course.
Like everyone else here.
Yes. And what would lead the guards to make such an accusation in the first place?
Well, you see, I happened to be in the Lord Protector's castle, just minding my own business. It was an accident, really. I didn't mean to be inside the walls of the castle when the explosion happened. And they saw me and just thought I must be part of it.
Mm-hmm.
I reckon that they blame me because I can do magic. And she throws up a few sparkles.
Really?
She totally did it.
What sort of magic do you practice?
It's just powerful, epic evocation magic.
So, you practice evocation magic, and there was a large explosion near you that you didn't cause.
No, I didn't cause that. But I think they blame me because I was just in the area where I shouldn't have been.
What were you doing in an area that you shouldn't have been? How is it that you stumbled into the Lord Protector's keep?
Fog Society, thank you for following us. Thank you, Fog Society. So I, it was I was having a drink with a young man. We were walking through the streets, and next thing I know, some bandit runs around, grabs my purse, and runs off with it. Now, I and my fellow tried to chase after him, and we've turned a few corners, and next thing I know, I'm inside the castle walls, and my fellow is nowhere to be seen, and neither is the bandit or my purse.
And who was this young fellow you were with?
His name was Polin.
Poland?
Polin.
All right. And can you briefly describe what Poland looks like?
He is a male, short, black hair. He has a big scar on his face, big bushy beard, all of that.
And species?
Elf.
Elf. All right. And golly. So, just to get your story straight here. You were carousing with another gentleman, and a bandit with just a bandit. Can you describe the bandit at all?
Bandity.
Bandit. So a bandit whose name you knew. Or no, wait, that wasn't his name. You're just saying he was bandity. Gotcha. That's a description. Sure. So a bandit who looked bandity ran off with your purse.
Mm-hmm.
And then you chased after him. You accidentally wound up inside a highly defensible keep, and then there was an explosion, and you don't know anything about it.
Yep.
Okay.
See, I'm innocent.
Final question.
Okay.
Are you lying to me?
No. Inside check.
Yes, I find it odd you phrased that as a question. Oh my god, I rolled another 20. So that's a 29 again.
Yes, she's acting. The story isn't actually true. It's all fabricated.
Mm.
But this fabrication is also a lie.
Okay. Understood. Well, thank you very much for your time, Siniel.
You're welcome.
And that was all Elvish style.
Yep.
And we'll move on to the Goliath.
Do you all want to help me with this Goliath? Maybe
Yes,
maybe a show of force.
We could have the dwarf arm wrestle him for the information.
Would you be up for that, Wampum?
Sure. Some excitement at least.
Hey there, Goliath fella.
Hey.
You know why we're here, right?
Yeah.
What, are you having fun with all this?
Well, this is what I'm here to do. So, yeah. Come on. Ask me your questions. Get this over with.
Well, how about this? Instead of asking you some questions, we just have one contest. An arm wrestling contest. If we win, you tell us the truth and not what you're supposed to tell us.
Okay. Deal. I'll arm wrestle you.
No, you're gonna arm wrestle my mate right here. Wampum.
He looks down. Hey there, little fella. You think you can arm wrestle me? And his hands still clapped in irons. He puts on the table, snaps them. Let's go, little fella.
Okay, big man.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
cry if Wampum loses.
Wampum, real quick, just for good luck, just rub my lucky rock here. He'll hold out his rock.
Rubbing the lucky rock.
As he does that, he'll say a word in Sylvan and cast guidance on him.
Okay. All right. While you're casting guidance on him, thank you, Loster, for following us on Twitch, and Martin Aiguade for subscribing on YouTube.
Woo!
Okay.
Thank you.
So, Wampum, you are now blessed. You're guided, guidanced. Go ahead and make an athletics check and add a d4 to it.
Add a D4 to my athletics. That's a 16 plus 3 would be a 19.
Okay. He claps.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Hold on. Athletics. That's another 8 on top of that. 19 and
26.
I rolled 16 on the die plus 3, 19, and then 8.
So 27.
Okay, so 27. Better than his 25.
Oof.
He wraps his hand around yours and really tries to squeeze, but you're having none of it. You start pushing the hand, and it's going. He looks a little bit shocked and surprised at you. He tries to get back up, but can't really. You're about halfway. One more should do it. Go ahead and roll another one. This time you don't get guidance.
Don't get guidance. Okay. That is a 23.
He got a 7, so didn't work out so well.
Got him.
You slam his hand through the table that's right there. Splinters go off everywhere. You hear a yelp off of someone from outside as the guard captain comes rushing in. What? Oh. You know these sets cost a lot, right?
Good man. Scotland Yard will reimburse you.
Okay,
It's
all right.
okay, big man.
You've got
It's-
1 minute left. Right. So the Goliath is looking a little bit shocked, but hey, well done.
Thank you, big man.
You did good for a little fella. So, you want to know the truth?
It will set you free, sir.
Will set me free. I'm getting paid to do this, so it's not really a punishment. But fair enough. All right. He leans in close, but doesn't whisper at all. His voice still echoing throughout the room. Myself and these two lovely little ladies, we were all in on it. All three of us. Celial, Sunil, whatever she's calling herself as part of this game. She was the lookout to cause a distraction. She caused the explosion. The kitten over there, cute little fella, lass, she was actually the one that managed to get a key to the door or supposedly got a key to the door that got us into the room, and I was the one that helped grab all of the stuff and took it to our companion who was waiting outside. So you will find that outside the tower where the explosion happened, there will be tracks that lead away from there, closer to where our people took the crown.
You're
Good.
some good actors, sir. Good actors.
Thank you. Well, if we ever meet outside of the game, I'd like to challenge you again.
Say it'd be a pleasure.
Well,
I'll take out my maracas of mending, and I'll say, would you mind putting your hands back together? I'll fix that chain right up. And I'll fix the table.
As you use the maracas of mending, you'll notice that and yes, he has a magical item that can cast mending as a cantrip, but they have to be maracas that he's shaking. You'll notice that the wrist straps, the restraints, are made to separate in the middle, like it's all part of the act, as it were. So they mend together in the right way so that he can just snap it for the next person, but you also fix the table, and the captain of the guard is happy that you sorted all of that out. And you are led out of here. Anything else you guys would like to do here at the guard station? Would you just move off to the tower?
I think we got what we need.
Do we have to tell the guard, the captain, that we got what we needed?
I'm gonna say, Allie's gonna say really loudly, so the other groups that were waiting could hear. I knew it! We had to go to the potions shop!
What?
Just so that the other groups hear them.
What are you thinking, mate? You're giving away the secret?
I'm sorry. You knew how loose-lipped I am.
5 of the 10 people outside immediately tear off and start running to the potion shop. One group sit there. They want to play the game. They want to do it right. And so the guard captain does just shake his head, though. Well done. Yeah, go on. Move along. Got people to move through here. Got groups to keep playing with. So you then start heading off, and when you get to the tower, you'll notice that fake rubble and paintings and tapestries have been placed to make it look like a hole exploded out of the side of one of the towers, and near the base of it there's bits of trash and things that have been piled up. As you reach that point, a couple shadows will move as creatures will jump out to attack you. And we will find out who that is next week on Half Rate Heroes. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining us for this premiere, this first episode. We hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, follow us and tell your friends about us. If you would like to stay up to date with all of the stuff that's happening with us over the next couple of weeks, we will be getting fully up to speed and everything's going. But follow us on Twitter. We are at Crituitous RP. You can get involved with us through supporting us on Twitch, supporting us on Patreon. That is patreon.com/Teovanth. And we would love to just have your support. Now, we have a couple hours left, I think about 30 hours roughly left on our epic giveaway for a legendary bundle from D&D Beyond. So jump into the description, you'll see a link to a video, and there's a link to the actual competition. Click on it, go enter the competition, fill out all the things, get yourself some entries, and you could be within a chance to win a legendary bundle from D&D Beyond. The winner will be announced next Saturday during the Crituitous RP stream. The competition will be ending soon, though, so make sure you get those in and share it with all of your friends. All right. Thank you very much.
Good luck, everyone.
Good night.